Remove the oxygen. Now. And I swear she will surely wake up. Sky's tiny voice detonated through the billionaire's hospital suite like a bomb. Every head snapped toward her. Doctors froze. Nurses gasped. Even the machines seemed to pause mid-beep, as if stunned by what they just heard. The 10-year-old black girl stormed forward, curls bouncing, eyes blazing with a truth only she understood. She slammed her small hand on Lyric's bedside. "Please," she begged, breath shaking, "if you don't remove the oxygen right now, she will never wake up. But if you do, I swear she will wake up, I swear it." Dr. Hargrove shouted for security. Victoria shrieked to get the insane child out. The room erupted into chaos. But then Lyric's toes curled. Barely. Softly. But undeniably. The heart monitor spiked. Damien Cross, the billionaire father, staggered backward. His trembling fingers hovered over the oxygen valve. Everyone screamed at him, "Don't touch it, don't listen, don't risk it." But Sky's voice cut through the panic like a blade, "They're lying to you. And if you wait one more minute, she's gone forever." The lights suddenly flickered. The machines wailed. Lyric's chest dropped drastically, then stopped. The room gasped in horror. Damien's fingers closed around the valve. And just as he began to twist it, Lyric's eyes snapped open for half a second, then slammed shut again. No one knew if it was real, or the beginning of something far darker. Before we dive deeper into the story, tell me, where are you listening from? And don't forget to subscribe so I can share more incredible stories with you tomorrow. On the bed in the middle of the room was Lyric. 8 years old. Tubes everywhere. Wires connected to her body. Machines breathing for her. She looked like she was sleeping, but everyone knew better. She'd been like this for weeks. Damien Cross stood next to the bed. Billionaire. Could buy anything he wanted. His suit was perfect, but his eyes showed panic. He had all the money in the world, but his daughter was dying, and nothing could save her. Except maybe this crazy little girl who just burst into his daughter's room. "Get her out." Victoria Cross screamed at the guards. She was Lyric's stepmother. Her voice was sharp enough to cut glass. "Get this child out now." Dr. Hargrove slammed his hands on the console. His face went pale. "Touching that oxygen will kill her." He was supposed to be the best doctor money could buy. Everyone trusted him. But Sky didn't care about any of them. She dropped to her knees next to Lyric's bed. Her small fists clenched tight. Tears ran down her face, but she didn't wipe them away. "Friends don't abandon each other," she yelled. "She can hear me. I won't leave her." The room went silent for just a second. Then everyone saw it. Lyric's finger moved. Just a tiny twitch. So small you could miss it if you blinked. But everyone saw it. Damien's heart stopped. Victoria's mouth fell open. Dr. Hargrove stepped back from the machines. Could this be real? Could a child's courage actually reach through all those machines and wires? Sky leaned closer to Lyric's face. Her voice dropped to a whisper, but somehow everyone in the room heard it. "Please. Wake up, Lyric. I believe in you." Outside the window, the wind howled. Shadows moved on the walls like fingers reaching. The storm outside matched the chaos inside. 3 guards stood at the door, frozen. They didn't know what to do. Victoria's hands shook. She tried to look angry, but fear crept into her eyes. Dr. Hargrove stared at his monitors. Nothing made sense anymore. Everything he learned in medical school was being challenged by a little girl with wild hair and tears on her face. Damien looked at his daughter. Then at Sky. Then back at his daughter. Lyric's chest rose just a little bit higher than before. Another finger twitched. The machines beeped faster. Sky didn't move. She stayed on her knees, holding Lyric's hand, whispering things only the two of them could understand. "I'm here," she said. "I won't leave. I promise." The leather bag fell from her hands and hit the floor with a soft thud. Nobody noticed. Everyone was watching Lyric now, because something impossible was starting to happen. The girl who'd been in a coma for weeks was responding. Not to the machines. Not to the doctors. Not to the billionaire father with all his money and power. She was responding to her friend. A poor little girl with nothing but courage and a promise she refused to break. Victoria took a step back. Her perfect world was cracking. Dr. Hargrove's confidence was gone. His hands trembled over the controls. And Damien Cross, the man who controlled empires, realized he controlled nothing at all. The only power in this room belonged to a 10-year-old girl on her knees, refusing to give up on her friend. The storm outside got louder. Inside, everyone held their breath. This was just the beginning. 6 weeks before the ICU chaos, Sky was watching. Nobody noticed her. Adults never did. She was just another poor kid hanging around the hospital entrance. But she wasn't playing. She was studying. Every morning at 6 a.m., the nurses changed shifts. Dr. Hargrove arrived at 7:15. Always carrying the same coffee. The security guard switched at noon and midnight. The ICU had cameras, but none pointed at the supply closet near the stairs. Sky memorized everything. She watched the machines through the windows. Listened to the beeping patterns. Counted the seconds between each sound. Other kids played tag and hide and seek. Sky learned the language of monitors and ventilators. Lyric was on the 3rd floor, room 447. Sky had never met her before the coma. But she'd seen her once through the window, lying there with tubes in her throat, wires taped to her chest, machines doing all the breathing. That image burned into Sky's mind. She couldn't sleep after that. Every night, she saw Lyric trapped in that bed. A bird in a cage made of plastic and metal. So Sky decided to learn everything. If the adults wouldn't save her, someone had to. The hospital threw away papers every Tuesday night. Sky waited until the janitors left, then dug through the trash bins. Medical charts, drug schedules, patient notes written in terrible handwriting. She didn't understand all the words at first. So she went to the library. Stole medical textbooks when the librarian wasn't looking. Read them under streetlights because her foster home had no electricity half the time. The words were hard. Ventilator. Intubation. Neurological response. Induced coma. But Sky wasn't stupid. She was sharp. Every word she didn't know, she looked up. Every diagram she didn't understand, she studied until it made sense. 3 weeks in, she found something the doctors missed. A note in one of the charts mentioned Lyric's oxygen levels jumping too high during a test. The doctor wrote it off as a machine error. But Sky saw the pattern. Every time they increased oxygen, Lyric's brain activity dropped. Not rose. Dropped. That didn't make sense. More oxygen should help. That's what everyone believed. Unless it was wrong. Sky spent 2 more weeks researching. She found one article in an old medical journal about a rare condition where too much oxygen damaged certain brain types during trauma. The article was from 1987. Buried. Forgotten. Nobody used it anymore because the condition was too rare. But Lyric had all the symptoms. Sky's heart raced when she connected it. The doctors were killing Lyric by trying to save her. She tried telling a nurse. The woman laughed and patted her head like she was cute. Tried telling security. They chased her away. She even wrote a letter to Dr. Hargrove. It went straight in the trash. Nobody listened to poor kids. Especially not black girls, with torn shoes and tangled hair. So Sky made a plan. She watched the guard rotations. Memorized the shift changes. Figured out which hallway had the broken camera. Learned how to move through the hospital like a ghost. She practiced every night. Sneaking in through the loading dock. Climbing stairs without making sound. Timing her movements between security rounds. Her friends in the neighborhood called her crazy. "You're gonna get arrested," they said. "You're just a kid. Leave it alone." But Sky couldn't leave it alone. Every night she saw Lyric's face. Every day she thought about the machines slowly killing her while adults nodded and pretended they knew best. Sky didn't have money. Didn't have parents who cared. Didn't have fancy clothes or a warm bed. But she had something nobody else in that hospital had. She had the truth. And she wasn't going to let Lyric die just because adults were too proud to listen to a 10-year-old. So on the morning of day 42, Sky walked through those ICU doors. Not by luck. Not by chance. By preparation. Every moment of watching. Every stolen chart. Every night spent reading under streetlights. Every ignored warning. Every laughed-off concern. It all led to this. The adult saw a poor kid causing trouble. Sky saw her one chance to save a life. And she wasn't going to waste it. Damien Cross couldn't breathe. His daughter's finger had moved. He saw it. Everyone saw it. But his brain refused to accept what was happening. Trust a 10-year-old street kid over doctors? Over machines that cost more than most houses? Over specialists he flew in from 3 different countries? Impossible. Yet Lyric's finger twitched again. Damien's hand shook as he gripped the bed rail. His mind raced through every business deal he'd ever made. Every risk calculated. Every decision backed by data and experts. This wasn't a boardroom. This was his daughter's life. "Sir, you need to remove this child now," Dr. Hargrove said. His voice was firm, but Damien heard something else underneath. Panic. Victoria grabbed his arm. "Damien, listen to him. This girl is insane. She doesn't know what she's talking about." Sky didn't even look at them. She kept her eyes on Lyric, whispering things Damien couldn't hear. He watched her. Really watched her. She wasn't scared. Every adult in the room was terrified, but this little girl with torn clothes and wild hair was completely calm. Her hands were steady. Her voice was soft but certain. Damien had built 3 companies from nothing. He knew when someone was faking confidence and when they really had it. This child had it. But how? She was 10 years old. She had nothing. No medical degree. No training. No reason to even be in this hospital. "Get her out," Victoria said again, louder this time. The security guards moved forward. "Wait." Damien's voice cut through the room. Everyone froze. He stepped closer to Sky. Looked down at her. "How do you know?" Sky finally looked up at him. Her eyes were red from crying, but they were sharp. Focused. "The oxygen is wrong," she said. "Every time they increase it, her brain activity drops. Check the charts from the last 6 weeks. Every single time." Dr. Hargrove's face went pale. That's just correlation. It doesn't mean, then why is she getting worse?" Sky shot back. "You've had 6 weeks. The best machines. The best doctors. And she's dying anyway." Silence. Damien felt something crack in his chest. She was right. He'd spent millions. Bought the entire hospital. Flown in specialists from Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, Germany, Japan. Lyric was still dying. He thought about the last 6 weeks, the hope at the beginning. The confidence of the doctors. "We'll stabilize her," they said. "Just give it time." Time passed. Lyric got worse. They increased oxygen. Brain activity dropped. They added medications. Nothing changed. They tried experimental treatments. She declined. Faster. Damien remembered Lyric's 3rd birthday. She wanted a puppy. He bought her 5. She only wanted one. Daddy, you don't listen, she'd said. I said one puppy. He never learned. He thought more was always better. More money. More doctors. More machines. What if more was killing her? Sir, this is insanity, Doctor. Hargrove said. If you listen to this child, your daughter will die. I guarantee it. Damien looked at the doctor. Then at Victoria. Then at the monitors beeping behind them. Then he looked at Lyric. His baby girl. 8 years old. She should be playing soccer. Fighting with friends. Complaining about homework. Instead, she was trapped in a bed, machines breathing for her, while adults argued about what they thought was right. He made his decision. Everyone out, he said quietly. What? Victoria's voice went shrill. I said everyone out. Except her. He pointed at Sky. Damien, you can't be serious. Out. His voice echoed through the ICU. Security. Guards jumped. Nurses backed toward the door. Dr. Hargrove opened his mouth to argue, but Damien's look shut him down. Victoria's face went red. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. Maybe, Damien said. But she's my daughter. And I'm done watching her die while everyone pretends they know what they're doing. Victoria stormed out. Doctor. Hargrove followed, muttering about lawsuits and liability. The nurses scattered. Security hesitated but left when Damien waved them away. The room went quiet. Just Damien, Sky, and Lyric. And the machine still beeping their steady rhythm of death. Damien knelt down next to Sky. If you're wrong, I'm not wrong, Sky said. She wasn't being cocky. She was stating a fact. How can you be so sure? Because I spent 6 weeks studying her. Every chart. Every test. Every result. I know more about your daughter's condition than anyone in this building. Damien believed her. He didn't know why. It made no logical sense. Believed her. What do we do? He asked. Sky looked at him. Then at Lyric. Then at the oxygen machine. We turn it off, she said. And we wait. Damien's hand hovered over the controls. Every instinct screamed at him to stop. Every logical thought told him this was suicide. But his daughter's finger had moved when Sky spoke to her. Not when doctors examined her. Not when machines pumped more oxygen. Not when medications flooded her system. When a little girl whispered to her about friendship and not giving up. Damien made his choice. He reached for the oxygen dial. Victoria Cross slammed the ICU door so hard the glass rattled. Her perfect nails dug into her palms. Her designer heels clicked like gunshots as she paced the hallway. Nurses scattered out of her way. That little girl. That dirty, poor, nobody child had just destroyed everything. 6 weeks. Victoria had waited 6 weeks for Lyric to finally slip away quietly. Natural causes. Tragic coma. Nobody's fault. Just a sad story about a sick little girl who never woke up. Then she'd inherit everything. Damien's fortune. His empire. His power. All of it would be hers. But now this street rat showed up and ruined it all. Victoria's phone buzzed. She answered without looking. We have a problem. Doctor. Hargrove's voice was tight with fear. I know we have a problem. Victoria hissed. That child is in there, with my stepdaughter. If she turns off the oxygen, then Lyric dies and we blame the kid. Perfect. Silence on the other end. Unless she doesn't die, Hargrove said slowly. Victoria froze. What? I've been reviewing the charts like the girl said. She's not wrong. Every oxygen increase correlates with decreased brain activity. You're the doctor. You told me more oxygen would keep her in the coma. I thought it would. But if this child figured out something I missed. You're supposed to be the best. Victoria's voice rose. Two nurses looked over. She forced her voice down. I paid you a fortune to make sure she stayed asleep. I didn't think anyone would notice the pattern. It's subtle. The machines, I don't care about machines. If Lyric wakes up, everything falls apart. Victoria's mind raced. She'd married Damien 3 years ago. Lyric's mother died a year before that. Cancer. Tragic. Damien was vulnerable. Easy to manipulate. She played the perfect stepmother. Caring. Loving. Always putting Lyric first. But she hated that little girl. Hated how Damien's world revolved around her. Hated how his money was tied up in trust funds for her future. Hated how she'd never truly have control as long as Lyric was alive. The coma was a gift. A terrible accident during a school field trip. Lyric fell. Hit her head. Nobody's fault. Victoria made sure the doctors kept her sedated. Kept the oxygen high. Kept her trapped in that bed. All while playing the devastated stepmother. Crying at Damien's shoulder. Supporting him through the tragedy. Making herself invaluable. When Lyric died, Damien would be broken. Lost. He'd lean on Victoria completely. And eventually, she'd have it all. But now this child appeared out of nowhere with the truth. What do we do? Hargrove asked. Victoria's jaw clenched. How long until we know if turning off the oxygen works? Minutes. Maybe an hour at most. Then we wait. If Lyric dies, the street kid takes the blame. Damien will be too broken to think straight. We'll have him committed for allowing it. I'll take control as next of kin. And if Lyric wakes up? Victoria's eyes went cold. Then we have a different problem to solve. She hung up. Through the ICU window, she could see Damien kneeling next to the bed. The little girl was holding Lyric's hand. Both of them staring at the machines. Victoria wanted to scream. Wanted to storm back in there and rip that child away from her stepdaughter. But she couldn't. Not yet. She'd built her entire plan on patience. On playing the long game. On making everyone believe she was the victim, the hero, the perfect wife and mother. One mistake now and it all crumbled. So she stood in the hallway. Watching. Waiting. Her phone buzzed again. Her lawyer. I heard Damien kicked everyone out of the ICU. What's happening? Change of plans, Victoria said coldly. Draw up papers to have Damien declared mentally unfit. Emotional distress. Making reckless medical decisions. Endangering his daughter. That's aggressive. Are you sure? Do it. Now. I want them ready to file within the hour. She hung up and made another call. Her contact at social services. I need a welfare check on a child. 10 years old. Black girl. Currently in Memorial Hospital ICU. I believe she's endangered and possibly mentally ill. Yes, I'll hold. Victoria smiled. Cold. Calculated. That little girl thought she was saving Lyric. She just walked into a trap. By tonight, Sky would be in foster care or a psychiatric facility. Damien would be declared unfit. And Victoria would have emergency custody of all medical decisions. Lyric would go back on the oxygen. Higher than before. And this time, there would be no miracle interruptions. Victoria smoothed her dress. Fixed her hair in the hallway mirror. Put on her concerned stepmother face. She'd wait exactly 30 minutes. Then she'd call security and claim Damien was having a breakdown. That the child was dangerous. That she feared for Lyric's safety. They'd remove both of them by force. And Victoria would finally get what she deserved. She checked her watch. Started the timer. 30 minutes. Inside the ICU, Sky leaned closer to Lyric. Whispering encouragement. believing in friendship and courage and all those stupid fairy tale ideas poor kids clung to. Victoria almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But business was business. And Lyric's trust fund was worth $40 million. Friendship couldn't compete with that. The timer ticked down. 29 minutes. Victoria waited. Patient as a snake. Dr. Hargrove stared at his phone after Victoria hung up. His hands shook. 23 years. That's how long he'd been a doctor. Built a reputation. Won awards. Got featured in medical journals. And now a 10-year-old was about to destroy it all. He pulled up Lyric's charts on his tablet. Scrolled through 6 weeks of data. His eyes caught on the oxygen levels. The girl was right. Every single time they increased oxygen, Lyric's brain activity dropped within 2 hours. Every time. How did he miss it? He didn't miss it. He ignored it. Because Victoria paid him $200,000 to keep Lyric sedated. Another $300,000 promised when she died. $500,000 to look the other way while a child slowly faded. Hargrove told himself it was mercy. The girl was brain damaged. She'd never wake up anyway. Why make the family suffer through false hope? That's what he told himself at night. But the truth was simpler. He needed the money. Gambling debts. Bad investments. An ex-wife bleeding him dry. Victoria's offer was a lifeline. All he had to do was nothing. Just keep the oxygen high. Keep Lyric comfortable. Let nature take its course. Except it wasn't nature. It was murder. And now this street kid figured it out in 6 weeks while he pretended not to notice for money. His phone rang. The hospital administrator. Hargrove, what the hell is happening in ICU? I just got 3 calls about you being removed from a patient's room. It's complicated, uncomplicated. Damien Cross owns this hospital. If he's making medical decisions without you, we're all liable. Get back in that room now. He specifically ordered. I don't care what he ordered. You're the doctor. You have authority to override family in medical emergencies. So create one. The administrator hung up. Hargrove stood frozen in the hallway. He could do it. Walk back in. Claim Damien was emotionally compromised. Call security. Remove the child. Put Lyric back on full oxygen. Save his reputation. His career. His payday from Victoria. Or he could do nothing. Let the girl try her theory. If Lyric died, the blame fell on Damien and the kid. If she woke up, his medical malpractice would eventually surface. Either way, he was finished. Unless he acted now. Hargrove pulled out his phone. Dialed security. This is Dr. Hargrove. I need immediate assistance in ICU room 447. Patient is in danger. Father is emotionally compromised and making unsafe medical decisions. Send 4 guards. Prepare to physically remove unauthorized personnel. He hung up. Checked his watch. Guards would arrive in 3 minutes. He walked to the ICU door. Looked through the window. Damien was kneeling beside the bed. The little girl held Lyric's hand. Both of them staring at the monitors. Hargrove saw the oxygen level. Damien had lowered it. Not off completely, but down to 30%. Lyric's heart rate was steady. Blood pressure stable. Brain activity was increasing. Hargrove's breath caught. He zoomed in on his tablet. Pulled up the real-time feed from Lyric's monitors. The EEG showed more activity in the last 5 minutes than the previous 6 weeks combined. No. That was impossible. He refreshed the data. Same result. Lyric's brain was waking up. The girl was right. The oxygen was poisoning her. Some rare reaction he'd never seen before. Never even considered. Because he wasn't trying to save her. He was trying to kill her slowly. And this child with no training, no degree, no resources figured it out by actually caring enough to look. Hargrove heard boots in the hallway. Security was coming. He had 10 seconds to make a choice. Stop them. Admit he was wrong. Face the consequences. Or let them remove Damien and the girl. Put Lyric back on high oxygen. Finish what Victoria paid him to do. The boots got louder. Hargrove thought about his daughter. She was 12. Same age gap as he had with Lyric. What if someone did this to her? What if a doctor took money to let her die? He'd burn the world down. The security team rounded the corner. 4 guards. All business. Dr. Hargrove. You called for emergency removal? Hargrove looked at them. Then at the ICU window. Lyric's finger moved. Just slightly. But it moved. He made his choice. False alarm, he said. Stand down. Sir, you said, I said stand down. Patient is stable. No intervention needed. The lead guard frowned. We got authorization from administration to, I'm the attending physician. I'm countermanding that order. Return to your posts. The guards looked at each other. Confused. But they couldn't argue with the doctor in charge. They left. Hargrove stood alone in the hallway. His phone buzzed. Victoria. He didn't answer. It buzzed again. The administrator. He turned his phone off. He'd just thrown away his career. His payday. Probably his medical license once this investigation finished. But through that window, he watched a little girl's finger move again. Real movement. Not random nerves. Actual response. Because someone finally did the right thing. Hargrove slumped against the wall. He was done. Finished. Everything he built was about to crumble. But maybe that little girl would wake up, and maybe that was worth it. His phone vibrated with texts he couldn't see. Victoria calling over and over. He left it off. Walked down the hallway. Away from the ICU. Away from Lyric. Away from the consequences he'd face. But for the first time in 6 weeks, he walked away clean. Even if it destroyed him. The ICU door burst open. 2 security guards charged in. Not the ones Hargrove sent. Different ones. Victoria stood behind them, face cold as ice. Remove that child. Now. Sky's head snapped up. Her eyes went wide, but she didn't let go of Lyric's hand. No, Damien said, stepping between them and the bed. I told you to leave. You're not thinking clearly, Victoria said. Her voice was calm but her eyes were sharp. That girl is dangerous. She's going to kill Lyric. She's saving her, Damien shot back. Look at the monitors. Her oxygen is at 30%. She needs full support or she'll wake up, Sky interrupted. She'll wake up. Victoria's jaw clenched. Guards. Remove the child. The first guard reached for Sky. She twisted away, fast as lightning. Her small body slipped under his arm. She grabbed the bed rail and pulled herself to the other side. I won't leave her. Sky yelled. The second guard lunged. Sky ducked. His hand caught empty air. She was small. Quick. Years of dodging social workers and police made her move like smoke. Stop running. The first guard shouted. Sky circled the bed. Eyes locked on Lyric the whole time. Friends don't abandon each other. I promised. The guard grabbed for her again. Sky dropped to the floor and rolled under the bed. Are you kidding me? The guard muttered. Victoria's face turned red. Get her out. Both guards bent down. Reached under the bed. Sky kicked out. Caught one in the nose. He yelped and pulled back. She scrambled out the other side. Jumped to her feet. Damien moved to block the guards. Stop this. Sir, step aside, the first guard said. Blood dripped from his nose. This is for your daughter's safety. My daughter is safer with her than with you. The monitors beeped faster. Everyone froze. Lyric's hand moved. Not a twitch. A real movement. Her fingers curled slowly. Sky saw it. Her eyes filled with tears. See, she's fighting. She's trying to wake up. Victoria saw it too. Her face went pale. That's just nerves, she said quickly. It means nothing. It means everything, Sky said. Her voice was fierce. She can hear me. I know she can. The guard with the bloody nose wiped his face. Ma'am, we need to restrain the child. Then do it, Victoria snapped. Both guards moved at once. One went left. One went right. Sky was trapped. She looked at Lyric. At Damien. At the door. No way out. The guards closed in. Sky made her choice. She grabbed the IV pole and shoved it. Hard. It rolled into the first guard's path. He stumbled. She darted past him. Headed for the door. The second guard was faster. He caught her arm. Got you. Sky twisted. Bit his hand. He yelled and let go. She ran. Out the door, into the hallway. Her feet pounded on the tile floor. Stop her. Victoria screamed. The guards chased her. Sky ran faster than she'd ever run. Past nurses. Past patients. Past doctors who yelled at her to slow down. She hit the stairs. Took them 3 at a time going down. The guards were bigger but slower. She heard them behind her but they couldn't catch up. First floor. She burst through the door. The lobby was packed. Visitors everywhere. Sky weaved between them. Small enough to slip through gaps the guards couldn't fit. Stop. That kid. One guard yelled. People turned. Stared. Nobody moved. Sky hit the main exit. Pushed through the revolving door. Outside. Cold air hit her face. She didn't stop running. Across the parking lot. Between cars. Behind a delivery truck, she pressed her back against the truck. Breathing hard. Heart hammering. Footsteps. The guards searching the parking lot. Where'd she go? Check the south side. Their voices faded. Sky waited. Counted to 100. Slowly. Silence. She peeked around the truck. The guards were gone. But she couldn't go back. Not yet. They'd grab her the second she showed her face. Sky's hands shook. Not from fear. From rage. She got Lyric to respond. She proved the oxygen was wrong. She was right. And Victoria threw her out anyway. Because Victoria didn't want Lyric to wake up. Sky saw it in her eyes. The panic when Lyric's hand moved. The fury when the monitors showed improvement. Victoria wanted Lyric to die. The realization hit Sky like a punch. This wasn't about medicine. It was about murder. And Damien didn't see it. He was too desperate. Too broken. Too willing to trust his wife. Sky needed proof. Real proof. Something even Damien couldn't ignore. She looked back at the hospital. 6 floors of concrete and glass. Lyric was on the 3rd floor. Alone with Victoria and guards who'd throw Sky out on sight. But Sky didn't run 6 weeks of research just to give up now. She needed a new plan. The loading dock. The one with the broken camera. The one the night janitors used. If she waited until shift change at midnight, she could slip back in. 4 hours away. Sky slid down against the truck. Sat on the cold pavement. 4 hours to plan. To think. To figure out how to prove Victoria was killing Lyric. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten since yesterday. Didn't matter. Food could wait. Lyric couldn't. Sky pulled her knees to her chest. Watched the hospital entrance. Security walked past. Every 10 minutes. Looking for her. She stayed hidden. Patient. Waiting. The sun started to set. 4 hours felt like forever. But Sky had waited 6 weeks already. She could wait 4 more hours. Then she'd go back. And this time, she wouldn't let anyone stop her. Damien stood alone in the ICU after Sky ran. Victoria had left to calm down. The guards were searching the building. Nurses whispered outside the door. He stared at Lyric. Her oxygen was still at 30%. Where Sky said it. The monitors showed steady vitals. Brain activity higher than it had been in weeks. His daughter's hand had moved. Actually moved. Not a random nerve firing. Real, purposeful movement. Because a 10-year-old lowered the oxygen. Against every doctor's advice. Against every protocol. Against everything that made logical sense. And it worked. Damien's phone rang. His lawyer. I just got a call from Victoria's attorney. She's filing for emergency custody. Claims you're mentally unfit. Damien's blood went cold. What? She's saying you endangered Lyric by allowing an unstable child to make medical decisions. She has Dr. Hargrove's initial report. She has security footage. She's building a case. Hargrove was wrong. The girl was right. Doesn't matter. You kicked out medical staff. You let a random kid touch life support equipment. Any judge will see that as reckless. Lyric is improving. For now. But if anything goes wrong in the next 24 hours, you're done. Victoria gets full custody. Medical and financial. The lawyer paused. Damien, I've known you for 15 years. I'm telling you as a friend. Put the oxygen back. Bring the doctors back in. Show you're willing to follow medical advice. The medical advice was killing her. Then prove it. Get a second opinion. Get 10 opinions. But don't give Victoria ammunition. Damien hung up. His hand hovered over the oxygen controls. One turn of the dial. Back to 100%. Everyone would calm down. Victoria's lawsuit would disappear. The doctors would come back. And Lyric would slip away again. He'd watched it happen for 6 weeks. Every time they increased oxygen, she faded more. The doctors called it stabilization. Sky called it murder. Sky was right. But if he kept the oxygen low and something went wrong, even something unrelated, he'd lose everything. Custody. Access. His daughter. Victoria would put Lyric back on full oxygen. Finish what she started. Unless Lyric woke up first. Damien looked at the monitors. Brain activity was climbing. Slowly. But climbing. How long would it take? Hours? Days? He didn't have days. Victoria's lawyers were probably filing papers right now. His phone buzzed. Victoria. He didn't answer. It buzzed again. The hospital administrator. Mr. Cross. We need to discuss the situation. Multiple staff members have filed concerns. We need Dr. Hargrove back in that room. No. Sir, I understand you're under stress, but I said no. I own this hospital. Or did you forget? Silence. If you want to keep your job, you'll make sure nobody touches my daughter's oxygen levels. Nobody enters this room without my permission. Are we clear? Yes, sir. Damien hung up. His hands were shaking. He'd just burned more bridges. Made more enemies. But Lyric's fingers twitched again. Stronger this time. Her whole hand moved. Just slightly. But it moved. Damien's breath caught. Lyric? Baby, can you hear me? No response. But her eyelids flickered. He grabbed her hand. If you can hear me, squeeze my hand. Please. Nothing. He waited. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Then he felt it. The faintest pressure. So light he almost missed it. But it was there. His daughter squeezed his hand. Tears flooded his eyes. That's my girl. That's my girl. Keep fighting. The door opened. Victoria walked in. Her face was cold. Controlled. But Damien saw the fear in her eyes. The oxygen needs to go. Back up, she said. No. Damien, you're not thinking clearly. The stress, she squeezed my hand. Victoria froze. What? Lyric. She squeezed my hand. She's waking up. That's impossible. You're imagining, I know what I felt. Victoria stepped closer. Her voice dropped. Listen to me. That child filled your head with ideas, false hope. You're seeing things that aren't there. Get out. I'm your wife. I'm trying to help. You're trying to kill her. The words hung in the air like a bomb. Victoria's face went white. Then red. How dare you? I've been thinking about the last 3 years. Since we got married. How you pushed me to increase her life insurance. How you insisted on being the backup medical decision maker. How you fought me every time I wanted to bring in new specialists. That's called being practical. It's called planning. You've been planning this since the beginning. Victoria's mask slipped. Just for a second. But Damien saw it. The cold calculation behind her eyes. You're paranoid, she said quietly. The grief is making you see conspiracies. Then why are you so afraid of her waking up? I'm not. You panicked when her hand moved. You immediately called security when her vitals improved. You're filing for custody the second I do something that might actually save her. Victoria's jaw clenched. You're making a mistake. The only mistake I made was trusting you. If you keep the oxygen low and she dies, you'll regret this for the rest of your life. If I put it back up, she dies anyway. At least this way she has a chance. Victoria stared at him. All pretense gone now. You're choosing that street kid over me, she said flatly. I'm choosing my daughter over you. There's a difference. Victoria's eyes went dead. Empty. You'll regret this, Damien. I promise you that. She turned and walked out. Damien locked the door behind her. His phone exploded with calls. Texts. Voicemails. He turned it off. Sat down next to Lyric's bed. Held her hand. It's just you and me now, baby. And that brave little girl who saved your life. We're going to get through this. Lyric's fingers moved again. This time, Damien was sure. She was fighting her way back. He just had to keep her safe long enough to make it. Outside, Victoria made calls. To lawyers. To doctors. To people who owed her favors. Inside, Damien made his stand. One father. One daughter. One impossible choice. He chose hope. Even if it destroyed him. Midnight. The loading dock door clicked open. Sky slipped through like a shadow. The hallways were quiet. Night shift nurses sat at their stations, half asleep. Security did rounds every 30 minutes. She had 15 minutes. Sky took the back stairs. 3rd floor. Her legs burned, but she didn't slow down. She'd spent 4 hours planning this. Memorized the shift schedules. Knew which cameras worked and which didn't. Knew exactly where the blind spots were. Room 447. Lyric's room. Sky pressed her ear to the door. Listened. One voice. Damien. He was talking to Lyric. Soft. Gentle. No Victoria, no guards. No doctors. Good. Sky knocked. 3 soft taps. The talking stopped. Who is it? Damien's voice was sharp. Scared. It's me. Sky. Silence. Then footsteps. The door cracked open. Damien looked out. His eyes were red. He hadn't slept. How did you get back in? Doesn't matter. How is she? Damien opened the door wider. Let her in. Sky ran to the bed. Lyric looked the same, but the monitors told a different story. Brain activity was up. Heart rate steady. Oxygen still at 30%. She squeezed my hand. Damien said. Twice. She's trying to wake up. Sky's heart jumped. That's good, that's really good. She took Lyric's hand. Cold but not lifeless. There was warmth underneath. Lyric, it's me. I came back. I promised I wouldn't leave you. Nothing. But Sky felt something. A tiny flutter under the clada, skin. Muscles trying to move. Keep talking, Damien said. She responds to your voice more than mine. Sky leaned closer. Remember when I told you about my foster home? How the other kids made fun of me for reading medical books. You would have understood. You always liked science. Lyric's eyelid twitched. Sky's breath caught. I saw that. Did you see that? Damien nodded. He was crying. Silent tears running down his face. She's fighting so hard, he whispered. But I don't know how much time we have. Victoria's filing papers. She wants custody. If a judge sides with her, then we need her to wake up now, Sky said. We can't force it. I know. But we can help. Sky pulled out her backpack. Inside was a crumpled medical journal. The one she'd found 6 weeks ago. This article talks about patients in similar conditions. Some of them woke up when given specific stimulation. Not just voices. Touch. Movement. Things that trigger deep memory. Sky looked at Damien. What does she love? What makes her happy? Damien thought. Music. She loves music. Piano especially. She was learning to play before the accident. Do you have any recordings? On my phone. But I turned it off. Victoria was calling, turn it on. Just for this. Damien hesitated. Then pulled out his phone. The second it powered up, messages flooded in. 50 missed calls. Victoria. Lawyers. The hospital administrator. He ignored all of them. Opened his music app. This is her favorite. Claire de Lune. She played it at her last recital. He hit play. The soft piano melody filled the room. Lyric's fingers moved. Not a twitch. A real movement. Her hand lifted off the bed slightly. It's working, Sky whispered. Keep going. Damien turned up the volume. The music washed over them. Gentle. Familiar. Lyric's breathing changed. Deeper. More natural. Her eyelids fluttered. Once. Twice. Sky squeezed her hand. Come on, Lyric. Follow the music. Come back. The monitors beeped faster. Not alarm fast. Active fast. Her brain activity spiked. Oh my God, Damien breathed. She's waking up. She's actually waking up. Lyric's eyes opened. Just a crack. Barely anything. But they opened. Sky's tears fell hot and fast. Yes. Yes. I knew you could do it. Lyric's eyes found Sky first. Confused. Hazy. But aware. Then they found Damien. Her mouth moved. No sound came out. The breathing tube was still in. But Damien saw the recognition. His daughter knew him. Baby, he sobbed. You're back. You're really back. The door exploded open. Victoria stood there. Face twisted with rage. Behind her were 2 security guards and a hospital administrator. Step away from the patient, Victoria said coldly. Both of you. Damien stood. Put himself between them and the bed. 1. Get out. You're being removed from medical decision-making authority. I have emergency custody papers. Judge signed them an hour ago. She held up documents. Damien's world tilted. That's impossible, you endangered a minor. Allowed unauthorized personnel to tamper with life support. You're done. The guards moved forward. Sky stepped in front of Lyric's bed. Arms spread. She's awake. Look at her. She's awake. Victoria's eyes flicked to Lyric. Saw the open eyes. Saw the awareness. Her face went pale. Then hard. Temporary response. Doesn't mean anything. Remove them. She's conscious. Damien yelled. You can't, I can. And I am. The guards grabbed Damien's arms. He fought, but they were stronger. Don't touch my daughter. Don't you dare. They dragged him toward the door. Sky ran to Lyric. Grabbed her hand. Don't let them. Fight. Show them you're awake. A guard grabbed Sky around the waist. Lifted her off the ground. No. Let me go. Lyric. Lyric's eyes were wide now. Panicked. She tried to move, but the tubes held her down. Her hand reached out. Fingers stretching. Toward Sky. She's reaching for me. Sky screamed. Look. She's reaching. But the guard carried her out. Damien was shoved into the hallway. Victoria stood at the door. Blocked their way back. Security, make sure they don't return. If they try, call the police. The door closed. Through the window, Sky saw Victoria walk to Lyric's bedside. Saw her reach for the oxygen controls. No. Sky pounded on the glass. Don't touch it. You'll kill her. Victoria's hand hovered over the dial. She looked at Lyric. Awake. Aware. Eyes full of fear. Then Victoria smiled. And turned the oxygen back to 100%. Lyric watched Victoria's hand turn the oxygen dial. She couldn't speak. The tube down her throat blocked everything. But she was awake. She understood. This woman was killing her. Had been killing her for weeks. Lyric remembered now. Pieces falling into place like a puzzle. The field trip. The fall. Waking up in the ambulance. Victoria's face hovering over her. Just rest. Sweetheart. Everything will be fine. Then the needle, sharp pain in her arm. Then nothing. Darkness. Voices far away. Her father crying. Doctors talking. Machines beeping. She tried to wake up so many times. Tried to move. Tried to scream. But something held her down. Pushed her back into the dark every time she got close to the surface. The oxygen. She felt it now. Flooding her lungs. Too much. Pressing against her brain like a weight. Making everything foggy. Heavy. She was sinking again. No. Not again. Outside the door, Sky pounded on the glass. Her voice was muffled, but Lyric heard it. Fight. Don't let her win. Fight. Lyric's hand moved. Found the bed rail. Victoria didn't notice. She was checking the monitors. Making sure the oxygen was flowing at maximum. There, Victoria said quietly. No more of this nonsense. She turned to leave. Lyric's fingers closed around the call button. The one connected to the nurse's station. She pressed it. Hard. Victoria spun around. What are you? Lyric pressed it again. And again. And again. The button blinked red. An alarm sounded at the nurse's station. Victoria lunged for Lyric's hand. Stop that. But Lyric held on. Even as Victoria pried at her fingers. Even as the fog from the oxygen grew thicker. She pressed the button one more time. The door burst open. A night nurse ran in. What's happening? The emergency call. She stopped. Saw Lyric's open eyes. Saw her hand clutching the button. She's awake, the nurse breathed. Oh, my God, she's awake. Victoria stepped back. Composed herself. She just regained consciousness. Very disoriented. I was about to call for help. She pressed the call button herself, the nurse said slowly. Multiple times. Muscle spasms. She doesn't know what she's doing. The nurse moved closer, looked into Lyric's eyes. Can you hear me, sweetheart? Lyric blinked. Once for yes. The way she'd seen in movies. The nurse gasped, she understands. She's responding. She's confused, Victoria said sharply. The trauma, I need to call Dr. Hargrove. And her father. Where's her father? He's been removed. I have custody now. I'll make all medical decisions. The nurse frowned. Removed? Why? That's not your concern. Check her vitals and Lyric grabbed the nurse's hand. Squeezed hard. The nurse looked down. What is it? What are you trying to tell me? Lyric's eyes moved to the oxygen meter. Then to Victoria. Then back to the meter. She keeps looking at the oxygen, the nurse said. She's disoriented, Victoria repeated. Ignore it. But the nurse pulled out her tablet. Checked the charts. The oxygen was at 30% an hour ago. Now it's at 100. Who changed it? I did. The proper medical protocol, her brain activity was increasing at 30%. Now it's dropping again. Silence. The nurse looked at Lyric. At Victoria. At the monitors. Something's wrong here. Nothing is wrong. You're overstepping. I'm calling Dr. Hargrove. I forbid it. You can't forbid me from consulting with her doctor. Victoria's face went cold. I can fire you. Right now. One phone call. The nurse stepped back. Fear flickered across her face. But she didn't leave. Fire me if you want, she said quietly. But I'm documenting everything happening in this room. And I'm calling the doctor. She pulled out her phone. Victoria moved fast. The nurse backed toward the door. I'm reporting this. You can't, Victoria slammed the door in her face. Locked it. Then she turned to Lyric. The mask was gone now. No more fake concern. Just cold rage. You should have stayed asleep, she hissed. Everything was perfect. Then that little brat showed up and ruined it. Lyric stared at her. Understanding completely now. Victoria had done this. Planned it. All of it. But it's fine. Victoria continued. The oxygen will push you back under in a few minutes. And this time, you won't wake up. I'll make sure of it. She walked to the IV line. Pulled out a syringe from her purse. Something to help you sleep. Permanently. Outside, Sky was screaming for help. Damien was fighting the guards. The nurse was yelling for security. But the door was locked. And Victoria had time. She uncapped the syringe. Lyric's lungs burned. The oxygen was too much. Everything was getting blurry again. She was slipping. No. Fight. She grabbed the IV line. Yanked it out of her arm. Blood dripped. Alarms blared. Victoria cursed. Stop that. She reached for Lyric's arm. Tried to reinsert the line. Lyric bit her. Hard. Victoria screamed. Dropped the syringe. It clattered on the floor. The door shook. Someone was ramming it. Open this door. Damien's voice. Furious. Victoria grabbed the syringe off the floor. Lunged at Lyric. The door exploded inward. Security had broken the lock. Damien rushed in. Saw Victoria holding the syringe. Saw Lyric's terrified eyes. What are you doing? Victoria froze. She was in pain. I was giving her medication. That's not hospital medication, Damien said slowly. He looked at the syringe. No label. No markings. Victoria backed toward the window. You don't understand. I was trying to help. Security, hold her. Don't let her leave. The guards grabbed Victoria's arms. She didn't fight. just stared at Damien with pure hate. You'll regret this. My lawyers will destroy you. Your lawyers can visit you in prison. Damien rushed to Lyric. Saw the oxygen at 100%. He turned it down immediately. Back to 30. Lyric's eyes cleared. The fog lifted. She took her first real breath. Not controlled by machines. Not poisoned by excess oxygen. Her own breath. Deep and clean. Tears ran down her face. Damien cradled her head. You're safe now, baby. I promise. You're safe. The nurse returned with Dr. Hargrove. He took one look at the scene and went pale. What happened? Call the police, Damien said. Tell them we have an attempted murder. Victoria laughed. Cold and bitter. Attempted? I've been doing it for 6 weeks. And I would have succeeded if not for that street rat. Everyone went silent. She'd just confessed. The security guard's body camera caught every word. Victoria realized too late. Her face crumbled. No. No, I didn't mean, take her out, Damien said quietly. I don't want her near my daughter. They dragged Victoria away. She screamed threats and curses the entire way down the hall. Sky slipped into the room. Quiet as a mouse. She walked to Lyric's bedside. Their eyes met. Lyric couldn't talk yet. But her hand moved. Reached for Sky's. Their fingers intertwined. I told you, Sky whispered. Friends don't abandon each other. Lyric squeezed her hand. Once for. Yes. For. Thank you. For I believe you. Outside, sirens wailed. Police arriving. Inside, 2 girls held hands. One fought to stay awake. The other fought to keep her there. And together, they won. Yes. Lyric is awake and Victoria just confessed on camera. But hold on, if you think this story is over, you have no idea what's coming. Subscribe right now because Victoria's revenge is far from finished. Comment below. What would you do if you were Damien in this moment? Would you forgive Dr. Hargrove? Let me know. And hit that notification bell, you do not want to miss the next chapter. The police arrived 12 minutes later. 2 detectives walked into the ICU. A man and a woman. Both looked tired. Both looked skeptical. Mr. Cross. The woman said. I'm Detective Rodriguez. This is Detective Chen. We got a call about attempted murder. Damien nodded. My wife tried to kill my daughter. She's been doing it for 6 weeks. The detectives exchanged glances. That's a serious accusation, Chen said carefully. We'll need evidence. She confessed. On camera. Security recorded everything. Rodriguez turned to the guard. Is that true? The guard nodded. Pulled out his body camera. Got the whole thing. He played the footage. Victoria's voice came through clear. Attempted? I've been doing it for 6 weeks. The detectives' faces changed. We need to see all security footage from this room, Rodriguez said. Going back 6 weeks. I'll get it, the guard said. He left quickly. Chen looked at Lyric. Is she able to give a statement? Dr. Hargrove shook his head. She's conscious but intubated. We can't remove the breathing tube yet. Too risky. Can she write? Maybe. Her motor control is still weak. Chen pulled out a notepad. Walked to Lyric's bedside. I'm going to ask you yes or no questions. Blink once for yes. Twice for no. Understand? Lyric blinked once. Did Victoria Cross try to hurt you tonight? One blink. Has she hurt you before? One blink. Did she cause your coma? Lyric hesitated. Then blinked once. Chen's jaw tightened. Thank you. That's enough for now. He turned to Damien. Where is she? Holding room downstairs. Security is watching her. We need to take her into custody. Officially. Rodriguez was already on her phone. Sending units now. Sky stood in the corner. Quiet. Watching everything. Rodriguez noticed her. And who's this? The girl who saved my daughter's life, Damien said. If she hadn't figured out what was happening, what's your name, sweetheart? Rodriguez asked gently. Sky. Sky what? Just Sky. Rodriguez's expression shifted. Recognition. You're a foster kid. I've seen your file. You run away a lot. Sky didn't answer. How old are you? 10. You've been coming to this hospital for weeks. Sneaking in. Security's been looking for you. I was trying to help. By breaking into a patient's room? By tampering with medical equipment? Damien stepped forward. She didn't tamper. She corrected. The doctors were wrong. With respect, Mr. Cross, a 10-year-old doesn't have medical training. She had observation skills. And she cared enough to look at what everyone else ignored. Rodriguez sighed. I'm not saying she didn't help. But there are protocols. Child Services needs to be notified. She can't just disappear into a hospital unsupervised. She's not going back to foster care, Damien said firmly. That's not your decision. I'm making it mine. I'll take custody. Temporary guardianship. Whatever paperwork you need. Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. You just met this girl. She saved my daughter. That's all I need to know. Sky's eyes went wide. You don't have to, I want to, Damien said. He looked at her. Really looked at her. You could have walked away. Nobody would have blamed you. But you kept fighting. For someone you didn't even know. I knew her. Sky said quietly. Maybe not her name. But I knew she needed help. That's enough. Rodriguez wrote something down. Child Services will still need to investigate. Make sure it's appropriate. Fine. Investigate. But she's not going back to some group home tonight. Chen's phone rang. He answered. Listened. His face went dark. When? He said. Then, secure the building. Nobody leaves. He hung up. Victoria's gone, he said flatly. Everyone froze. What do you mean gone? Damien demanded. She attacked the security guard in the holding room. Took his keys. She's somewhere in the building. Rodriguez pulled her weapon. Lock down the ICU. Now. The remaining guard hit the emergency button. Steel shutters started coming down over the doors and windows. She won't get far, Chen said. Building surrounded. She's desperate, Rodriguez said. Desperate people do desperate things. Damien moved to Lyric's bed. Stood between her and the door. Sky grabbed a metal tray from the medical cart. Held it like a weapon. You shouldn't be here, Rodriguez told her. Get behind the nurse's station. I'm not leaving Lyric. Kid, this isn't safe. A crash. Somewhere down the hall. Everyone turned toward the sound. Rodriguez moved to the door. Weapon raised. Stay here. All of you. She and Chen slipped into the hallway. The lights went out. Emergency backup kicked in. Red lights bathed everything in an eerie glow. She cut the power, Doctor. Hargrove whispered. How did she? She's been planning this, Damien said. She's always 3 steps ahead. Sky's hands shook. But she didn't drop the tray. A scream from the hallway. Cut short. Then silence. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Coming toward the ICU. The door handle rattled. Locked. A voice. Victoria's voice. Calm. Cold. I know you're in there, Damien. You and that little brat. Nobody answered. You took everything from me. My plan. My money. My future. Silence. So I'm taking something from you. The door shook. She was ramming it. Once. Twice. The lock held. Security's coming, Damien called out. You can't escape. Victoria laughed. I'm not trying to escape. The door shook again. Harder. Metal creaked. She's going to break through, Hargrove said. We need to barricade. A gunshot. The lock exploded. The door swung open. Victoria stood there. Hair wild. Makeup smeared. Blood on her hands. In her right hand, she held a scalpel. Hello, Damien, she said. Let's finish this. Victoria stepped into the ICU. The scalpel caught the red emergency lights. Sharp. Deadly. Get away from my daughter, Damien said. His voice was steady but his hands shook. Your daughter. Victoria laughed. You mean the girl who ruined everything? The girl who should have died weeks ago? She moved closer. Damien grabbed a chair. Held it between them like a shield. The police are coming. You can't. The police found Rodriguez and Chen. They're not coming. Damien's blood went cold. What did you do? What I had to. Dr. Hargrove backed toward the wall. Fumbled for his phone. Victoria's eyes snapped to him. Drop it. He dropped it. Good. Now all of you, against that wall. Move. Nobody moved. Victoria raised the scalpel. Move. Hargrove scrambled to the wall. Hands up. Damien didn't budge. You'll have to go through me. Fine. She lunged. Damien swung the chair. Caught her arm. The scalpel flew from her hand. It skittered across the floor. Right to Sky's feet. Sky looked down at it. Then at Victoria. Victoria saw it too. Don't even think about it, little girl. Sky picked it up. Her hand was steady. Put it down, Victoria said. You're just a child. You don't know how to use that. I know which end is sharp, Sky said quietly. Victoria took a step toward her. Sky raised the scalpel. Stay back. You won't hurt me. You're too soft. Too good. That's why you saved her. Victoria nodded at Lyric. Because you're stupid enough to believe in friendship. It's not stupid. It's weak. Sky's jaw clenched. It's the strongest thing there is. Victoria lunged. Sky dodged. The metal tray was still in her other hand. She swung it. Connected with Victoria's face. Victoria stumbled back. Nose bleeding. You little, she charged again. This time Damien caught her from behind. Wrapped his arms around her. Held her tight. Sky, run. Get help. But Sky didn't run. She moved to Lyric's bed. Stood between her and Victoria. I'm not leaving her. Victoria thrashed in Damien's grip. Let me go. She stomped on his foot. He grunted but held on. Hargrove, help me. Damien yelled. The doctor hesitated. Then moved forward. Grabbed Victoria's arms. Together they wrestled her to the ground. She fought like a wild animal. Kicking. Scratching. Screaming. The door burst open. 4 police officers rushed in. Weapons drawn. Freeze. Everyone froze. Except Victoria. She kept fighting. 2 officers pulled her off. Damien and Hargrove. Forced her arms behind her back. You're under arrest for attempted murder, assault on police officers. They tried to kill her. Victoria screamed. Not me. Them. Ma'am, you need to stop talking. They cuffed her. Read her rights. Victoria's eyes found Lyric. Pure hate. You should have stayed asleep, she hissed. You and your little friend. You ruined everything. They dragged her out. Her screams echoed down the hallway until they finally faded. The ICU went quiet. Damien collapsed against the wall. Breathing hard. Blood on his shirt from where Victoria scratched him. Hargrove sat on the floor. Shaking. Sky stood frozen. The scalpel still in her hand. An officer gently took it from her. You okay, kid? Sky nodded. But she wasn't okay. She was trembling now. Adrenaline crashing. She turned to Lyric. Lyric's eyes were wide. Terrified. But alive. Sky walked to the bed. Dropped to her knees. It's over, she whispered. She's gone. You're safe now. Lyric's hand moved. Found Sky's. Squeezed tight. Tighter than before. Stronger. I was so scared, Sky said. Her voice broke. I thought she'd hurt you. I thought, Lyric squeezed again. Sky understood. It's okay. We're okay. She laid her head on the bed. Still holding Lyric's hand. All the fear. All the fighting. All the weeks of planning and running and refusing to give up. It crashed over her at once. She started crying. Deep, shaking sobs. Lyric's other hand moved. Slow. Weak, but determined. She touched Sky's hair. Gentle. Thank you, the touch said. You saved me. Damien watched them. 2 kids who barely knew each other. One rich. One poor. One trapped in a bed. One fighting the world. But they were connected now. Forever. He walked over. Knelt beside Sky. You're the bravest person I've ever met, he said quietly. And I don't say that lightly. Sky looked up. Tears streaming. I was just doing what was right. Most people don't. Even when they know what's right. They're too scared. Too comfortable. Too willing to look away. He put his hand on her shoulder. You're 10 years old and you have more courage than anyone I know. Including me. You fought her too. Only after you showed me how. He looked at Lyric. Both of you showed me. An EMT team rushed in. Checked everyone for injuries. Detective Rodriguez appeared. Bandage on her head but walking. Chen's got a concussion but he'll live, she said. Victoria hit him with a fire extinguisher. Same with me. I'm sorry, Damien said. Not your fault. She was desperate. Rodriguez looked at the girls. They okay? They will be. Rodriguez nodded. We'll need full statements from everyone. But that can wait until morning. She looked at Sky. You'll need to come with child services. No, Damien said firmly. She stays here. With us. I already told you. Mr. Cross, I don't care what protocols say. That girl saved my daughter's life multiple times. Tonight. She's not going anywhere. Rodriguez sighed. Fine. But social worker comes first thing tomorrow. Non-negotiable. Fine. The detective left. The ICU slowly returned to normal. Lights came back on. Medical staff checked Lyric's vitals. Everything was stable. Dr. Hargrove approached Damien. I'm sorry. For all of it. I should have listened to the girl weeks ago. You were paid not to listen. Hargrove flinched. You know? Victoria kept records. Police found them when they searched her things. You took $500,000 to keep my daughter sedated. I'll turn myself in. I'll face whatever charges. You helped us tonight. You could have run when she broke in. But you stayed. That counts for something. It doesn't erase what I did. No. But it's a start. Hargrove nodded. Left quietly. Damien turned back to the girls. Sky was sitting on the edge of Lyric's bed now. Still holding her hand. I'm going to read to you, Sky said. Like I used to read to the other kids in my foster home. Before bed. It helps. Lyric blinked once. Sky pulled out a crumpled book from her backpack. It's about a girl who goes on adventures. She's brave and smart and doesn't let anyone tell her what she can't do. She started reading. Her voice was soft. Steady. Lyric's eyes started to drift closed. Not from drugs. Not from too much oxygen. From peace. For the first time in 6 weeks, she was falling asleep naturally. Safe. Protected. With a friend who would never abandon her. Damien sat in the chair beside the bed. Watched them. 2 children who'd been through hell. Still holding hands. Still together. And he understood something profound. Love wasn't about blood or money or obligation. It was about showing up. Fighting. Refusing to give up. These 2 girls understood that better than most adults ever would. And he'd spend the rest of his life making sure they never forgot their worth. 3 days later, Dr. Hargrove walked into the police station. He carried a box of files. Medical records. Bank statements. Emails with Victoria. Everything. The desk sergeant looked up. "Can I help you? I'm here to confess to conspiracy to commit murder." The sergeant's pen stopped. "Excuse me. Lyric Cross. The girl in the coma. I was paid to keep her sedated. I knew what Victoria was doing and I didn't stop it." The sergeant hit a button. "Detective Rodriguez, you're going to want to hear this." 20 minutes later, Hargrove sat in an interrogation room. Rodriguez across from him. Recording device on the table. "You understand you're confessing to a crime," she said. "You have the right to a lawyer." "I don't want a lawyer. I want to tell the truth." "Okay. Start from the beginning." Hargrove took a breath. 3 months ago, Victoria Cross approached me. Said she needed help with a private matter. Offered me $50,000 just to meet with her. And you took it? I was desperate. Gambling debts. Ex-wife. Bleeding me dry in alimony. I'd lost almost everything. Rodriguez wrote notes. Continue. She asked me hypothetical questions. About comas. About keeping patients sedated long-term. About what could go wrong if someone wanted to extend a medical situation. Did she say why? Not directly. But I'm not stupid. She was planning something. Did you try to stop her? Hargrove looked down. No. She offered me $200,000 more. Plus another $300 when it was done. When what was done? When Lyric died. The words hung in the air. Rodriguez's expression hardened. You agreed to let a child die for money. I told myself she was already brain damaged. That she'd never recover anyway. That I was just making things easier for the family. That's not your call to make. I know. Hargrove's hands shook. He clasped them together. The field trip was Victoria's idea. She volunteered to chaperone. Nobody thought anything of it. But she planned it. Picked a location with dangerous areas. Made sure Lyric was near the edge. Rodriguez leaned forward. Are you saying Victoria pushed her? I don't know for certain. But Lyric fell. Hit her head. Victoria called the ambulance. Rode with her to the hospital. And the first thing she did was pull me aside and say, it's time. Time for what? To start the protocol. Keep her sedated. Maximum oxygen. She'd researched Lyric's medical history. Found a rare condition in her family genetics. Something about oxygen toxicity during brain trauma. Rodriguez's eyes widened. She knew high oxygen would keep her in the coma. Worse. She knew it would slowly kill her. Make it look natural. Tragic but unavoidable. And you went along with it. I adjusted the oxygen. Increased sedatives. Every time Damien brought in outside specialists, I made sure they saw what I wanted them to see. Convinced them the protocols were standard. For 6 weeks. Yes. Hargrove's voice cracked. Every day I walked into that room and saw that little girl lying there. Every day I knew I was killing her. And every day I told myself it was too late to stop. Why come forward now? Because a 10-year-old figured it out. A child with no training, no resources, no reason to care. She looked at the charts I deliberately ignored. She connected dots I pretended didn't exist. He looked at Rodriguez. If a street kid can have that much courage, what's my excuse? Rodriguez turned off the recorder. You know you're going to prison. Yes. Medical license revoked. Career over. Everything you built, gone. I know. Why not just run? Leave the country? Victoria had money. You could have disappeared. Hargrove shook his head. Because I looked at that girl. Sky. She risked everything for someone she didn't even know. And I realized I've been living as a coward for years. He pulled out his medical license. Set it on the table. I don't deserve this. I never did. Real doctors save lives. I sold mine for cash. Rodriguez picked up the license. This helps your case. The DA might offer a deal for cooperation. I don't want a deal. I want to face what I did. Even if it means 20 years. Even then. Rodriguez stood. You'll be processed and held. Trial will take months. You understand that? Yes. She opened the door. 2 officers came in to take him. As they cuffed him, Hargrove asked, "How is she?" "Lyric?" "Making progress. They removed the breathing tube yesterday." "She's talking." Hargrove closed his eyes. Relief washed over him. "Good. That's good. She asked about you." He looked up. "What?" "She wanted to know if you were okay. After Victoria attacked everyone." Hargrove's throat tightened. "What did you tell her?" "That you helped save her life that night. That you stood between her and Victoria." "I should have done it 6 weeks ago." "But you did it when it mattered most. That counts for something." The officers led him away. Down the hallway. Past holding cells. Past other criminals. He belonged here. For the first time in months, he felt like he could breathe. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Damien met with the hospital board. "We want to make this right," the chairman said. "Dr. Hargrove has been terminated. We're conducting a full investigation into every patient he treated." "It's not enough," Damien said. "What more can we do?" "The ICU protocols. They need to change. Every decision should require multiple doctor approval. Families should have access to all medical records in real time. And patients should have advocates, people whose only job is to question the doctors." The chairman frowned. "That would slow down treatment significantly. It would also prevent what happened to my daughter from happening to anyone else." Silence. "You own the hospital," the chairman said carefully. "You can implement whatever you want." "I know. And I'm going to. Starting today." Damien stood. "I'm also setting up a foundation. For kids like Sky. Foster children who show exceptional intelligence and courage. They'll get education, resources, support. Everything they need to succeed." "That's generous." "It's the least I can do. That girl saved my daughter with nothing but observation and determination. Imagine what she could do with actual resources." He walked to the door. Stopped. "One more thing, I want Sky to speak at the next board meeting. Tell her story. Let everyone hear what she did. She's 10 years old. She's also the smartest person in any room she walks into. Age doesn't change that." Damien left. The board members looked at each other. "He's serious," one said. "He owns the hospital," another replied. "We don't have a choice." But the chairman smiled. "Maybe that's not such a bad thing. When was the last time we actually listened to someone without a medical degree? Maybe we've been doing this wrong all along." Back in room 447, Lyric was sitting up for the first time. No tubes. No wires. Just monitors beeping softly in the background. Sky sat on the bed beside her. They were playing cards. "You're cheating," Lyric said. Her voice was weak but clear. "I'm not cheating. You're just bad at Go Fish." I've been in a coma for 6 weeks. Give me a break. They both laughed. It was the best sound in the world. A nurse poked her head in. Visiting hours end in 10 minutes. She's not a visitor, Lyric said quickly. She's my sister. The nurse smiled. Okay. Sisters can stay. She left. Sky looked at Lyric. Sister. Well, yeah. I mean, if you want. Sky's eyes filled with tears. I've never had a sister. You do now. They hugged. Careful of Lyric's still healing body. Forever? Sky whispered. Forever. Lyric promised. Outside the window, the sun was setting. Inside, 2 girls who'd fought death together were building a life. And in a police station across town, a broken doctor was finally facing the truth. Some shadows can't be outrun. But some can be redeemed. 1 week after Victoria's arrest, Damien sat in his office. Empty. Silent. Alone. His phone kept ringing. Business partners. Investors. Board members. He ignored them all. On his desk sat a folder. Social Services Report. He opened it. Read it again. Sky Martinez. Age 10. Entered foster care at age 3 after parents died in car accident. Bounced between 7 different homes. Ran away from 4 of them. Labeled difficult and disruptive. Teachers noted she was brilliant but antisocial. IQ tested at 142. Photographic memory. But she refused to follow rules. Subject shows signs of attachment disorder and authority resistance, one report said. Not recommended for permanent placement. Damien set the file down. Not recommended. This was the girl who saved his daughter's life. Who fought security guards, outsmarted doctors. And stood up to a killer. Not recommended. He thought about his own childhood. Private. Schools. Tutors. Every advantage money could buy. And what had he done with it? Built companies. Made money, bought things. Sky had nothing. And she'd done something he never could. She'd cared enough to act. His phone rang again. His lawyer. He answered. Damien, we need to talk about the custody petition. What about it? Social Services is pushing back. They say you have no relationship with the child. That this is a trauma response. That you're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in years. They want to place her in a specialized group home. One that deals with high IQ kids. They think it's better suited. No. Damien, she stays with me. With us. That's not negotiable. The judge might not agree. You're a single father now. You run multiple companies. You're never home. How can you provide proper care? Damien looked out his office window. At the city below. I'll make it work. That's not good enough for family court. Then what is good enough? The lawyer sighed. Proof that you can provide stability. Structure. A real home. Not just money. I can do that. Can you? When was the last time you were home for dinner? When's the last time you took a day off? Damien didn't answer. Because he couldn't remember. They're also concerned about Lyric's recovery. The lawyer continued. She needs intense physical therapy. Speech therapy. Psychological counseling. Can you manage that and a foster child with behavioral issues? Sky doesn't have behavioral issues. She has survival instincts. The state doesn't see it that way. Then the state is wrong. Damien, I'm on your side. But you need to be realistic. The hearing is in 3 days. If you can't show that you're ready to be a full-time father to 2 children, one recovering from trauma, one with documented trust issues, you'll lose. The lawyer hung up. Damien sat in the silence. He'd built a tech empire. Turned a startup into a billion-dollar company. Done deals across 4 continents. But could he be a father? A real father. Not just a checkbook. His mind went back to the ICU. When he stood between Victoria and Lyric. When he chose to trust Sky over the doctors. Those were the first real decisions he'd made as a father in years. Everything before that was delegation. Hire the best doctors. Pay for the best care. Let professionals handle it. But Sky didn't delegate. She showed up. She did the work. She fought. Could he do the same? His phone buzzed. Text from the hospital. Lyric asking for you. Says it's important. He grabbed his coat and left. 20 minutes later, he walked into room 447. Lyric was sitting up. Sky was teaching her how to braid hair. Too tight. Lyric said, laughing. You're going to pull it all out. I'm learning. Give me a break. They both looked up when Damien entered. Dad. Lyric's face lit up. Dad. Not Daddy. She was growing up. What's the important thing? He asked. Lyric glanced at Sky. Then back at him. I want Sky to live with us. Damien's throat tightened. I know. I'm working on it. No, I mean permanently. Not just temporary. I want her to be my real sister. Sky looked down. Lyric, it's not that simple, why not? Dad has money. He can hire lawyers. He can make it happen. It's not about money, Damien said quietly. Both girls looked at him. Then what's it about? Lyric asked. Damien sat down. It's about me proving I can be the father both of you need. Not just someone who writes checks. Someone who's actually here. You are here, Lyric said. Now I am. But before? I worked 16-hour days. Traveled constantly. Left you with nannies and tutors and whoever I could pay to fill the gaps. He looked at Sky. You asked me once why I didn't notice what was happening to Lyric. The truth? I wasn't paying attention. I thought money could solve everything. That if I made enough, earned enough, bought enough, that would be enough. His voice cracked. But it wasn't. And it almost cost me everything. Sky spoke quietly. You didn't know Victoria was evil. Maybe not. But I should have known my daughter. Really known her. What she needed. What was wrong. You figured it out in 6 weeks. I lived with her for 8 years and missed it. You were busy. That's just an excuse. Damien stood. Walked to the window. The social worker asked me what kind of father I'd be. I didn't have an answer. Because I don't know. I've never really tried. Silence filled the room. Then Lyric spoke. You could learn. He turned. What? You learned how to build a company. You learned how to make money. You can learn how to be a dad. It's not that simple. Why not? Damien opened his mouth. Closed it. She was right. He'd learned harder things than parenting. Calculus. Programming. Business strategy. Negotiation. Why did he think being a father was something you either had or didn't? Sky stood up. I can teach you. Both of them looked at her. What? Damien said. I can teach you how to be a dad. I watched 7 different foster parents try and fail. I know what works and what doesn't. You're 10 years old. So, age doesn't mean I'm wrong. Damien almost laughed. Okay, teach me. Sky walked over. Looked up at him. First rule. Show up. Every day. Even when you don't want to. Even when work is calling. Even when it's boring or hard or you feel like you don't know what you're doing. That's it. That's the foundation. Everything else builds from there. And if I mess up, you will mess up. A lot. But as long as you show up the next day and try again, that's what matters. Damien knelt down. I level with her. You really believe that? 41. 41 something, you really believe, 1, 1, 1 something. I've lived it. The foster parents who showed up, even the awkward ones who didn't know what they were doing. Those were the ones I trusted. The ones who just threw money at problems? They meant nothing. Looked him straight in the eye. Lyric doesn't need a perfect dad. She needs you. Here. Present. Trying. Damien felt something break inside him. All the years of building walls. Hiding behind work. Convincing himself that providing was the same as loving. It all crumbled. I don't know if I can do this, he whispered. You fought Victoria, Sky said. You trusted me when everyone said you were crazy. You already did the hard part. The rest is just showing up. Damien pulled both girls into a hug. Lyric was crying. So was he. I'm going to mess this up, he said. A lot. We know, they said together. They all laughed through the tears. But I'm going to try. Every single day. I promise. That's all we need, Lyric said. Damien pulled back. Looked at Sky. The hearing is in 3 days. Will you testify? Tell the judge what you just told me. You want me to tell a judge how to be a dad? I want you to tell the truth. That's what you're good at. Sky nodded. Okay. I'll do it. And after we win, if we win, Sky corrected. When we win, Damien insisted. We're going to build something. The three of us. A real family. Not a perfect one. But a real one. I'd like that, Sky said softly. Me too, Lyric added. Damien stood. Wiped his eyes. For the first time since Victoria's arrest, he felt something other than anger or fear. He felt hope. Real, solid hope. Not because he had all the answers, but because he finally admitted he didn't. And that was enough to start. The family court hearing started at 9 a.m. Sky sat outside the courtroom on a hard wooden bench. She wore clothes Damien bought her. First new clothes she'd had in 2 years. They felt wrong. Too stiff. Too clean. You okay? Damien sat down next to her. I don't like courts. Bad memories. Every time I ended up in court, I got moved to a new home. New people who promised they'd keep me. Then didn't. Damien was quiet for a moment. I'm not them. Everyone says that. I know. A woman in a suit walked over. The social worker. Miss Chen. Sky, we need to talk before you testify. About what? About what you're going to say. The judge will ask you questions about Mr. Cross. About whether you feel safe with him. I do feel safe. Even though you've only known him for a week? I knew Victoria for 0 seconds and I knew she was dangerous. Time doesn't mean anything. Miss Chen's expression tightened. The judge needs more than feelings, she needs facts. Stability. Evidence of a proper home environment. He's building one. But he hasn't built it yet. Which is why the state believes a group home would be more appropriate for now. Just until. No. Sky, listen. I said no. I'm not going to another home where people pretend to care until I become inconvenient. That's not fair. These are trained professionals, so was Dr. Hargrove. Training doesn't mean anything if you don't actually care. Miss Chen sighed. I'm trying to help you. Then tell the judge I want to stay with Damien and Lyric. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. You're making it complicated. The courtroom door opened. A bailiff stepped out. Martinez case. We're ready. Sky stood. Her hands were shaking but she hid them in her pockets. Inside, the courtroom was smaller than she expected. Just the judge, a court reporter, Miss Chen, Damien's lawyer, and a state attorney. Judge Morrison was an older black woman with sharp eyes. She looked at Sky for a long moment. Please sit, Sky. Sky sat in the witness chair. Too big for her. Her feet didn't touch the ground. Do you know why you're here? The judge asked. Mr. Cross wants to be my guardian. The state doesn't think he should be. That's correct. I'm going to ask you some questions. Answer honestly. There's no wrong answer. Understand? Yes, ma'am. How long have you known Damien Cross? 8 days. The judge made a note. And, in those 8 days, where have you been staying? The hospital mostly. With Lyric. Not in his home. Lyric can't leave the hospital yet. We're all staying there together. So you haven't seen where you'd be living if this guardianship is granted? No, ma'am. Another note. Tell me about the night Victoria Cross tried to harm Lyric. Sky took a breath. Told the story. Every detail. The scalpel. The fight. Standing between Victoria and Lyric. The judge listened. Asked follow-up questions. Wrote constantly. You put yourself in danger to protect a girl you barely knew, the judge said. Why? Because it was right. Many people know what's right but don't act. Why did you? Sky thought about it. Because I've been the kid nobody protects. I know what it feels like. I couldn't let it happen to someone else. The judge's expression softened slightly. Miss Chen's report says you have trust issues. That you run away from placements. Is that true? Yes, ma'am. Why? Because people lie. They say they want to help but they just want the money the state pays them. Or they want to feel good about themselves. Then when I'm difficult or ask too many questions, they send me back. What makes you think Damien Cross is different? Sky looked at Damien. He sat at the table, hands folded, watching her. Because he admitted he doesn't know what he's doing. Nobody else ever did that. They all pretended they had it figured out. But he told me the truth. That he's scared. That he'll mess up. And that makes you trust him? Yes. Because at least he's honest. The state attorney stood. Your Honor, may I? Go ahead. Sky, you're very intelligent. Everyone agrees on that. But Mr. Cross works 80 hours a week. He travels constantly. He's never been a single parent. Don't you think you'd be better off with trained caregivers who understand your needs? No. Why not? Because they don't know me. They'll read my file and see a problem kid. Damien sees someone who saved his daughter. But affection isn't enough. You need structure. Education. Therapy. He can provide that. How do you know? Because he already is. He hired a tutor to come to the hospital. He set up therapy appointments for both me and Lyric. He asked me what I needed and then actually did it. The attorney looked frustrated. In 8 days. Yes. That's not enough time to establish a real relationship. Sky's jaw set. I knew Victoria was trying to kill Lyric in 5 minutes. I knew Dr. Hargrove was lying in 10. Time doesn't equal truth. Actions do. Your Honor, the attorney said. The child is clearly intelligent but emotionally attached due to trauma bonding. This isn't a stable foundation for guardianship. Judge Morrison raised her hand. I'll decide that. Sky, last question. If I deny this petition, you'll go to a group home. You understand that? Yes, ma'am. And you'd prefer to take a chance on a man you barely know? Sky looked at Damien again. Then at the judge. I'd prefer to take a chance on someone who shows up. Every other placement, I was just a problem to solve. With Damien, I'm a person. That's worth the risk. The judge wrote for a long moment. Then looked up. Thank you, Sky. You can step down. Sky walked back to sit next to Damien. Her heart was pounding. You did great. He whispered. I don't know. The state attorney, doesn't matter, you told the truth. That's all you can do. The judge called Damien next. He took the stand. Answered questions about his work schedule, his home, his plans for childcare. Mr. Cross, you've been a workaholic for 20 years. What's changed? I almost lost my daughter. That changes everything. Words are easy. How do I know you'll follow through? You don't. I can't prove the future. But I can tell you that for the first time in my life, I understand what actually matters. And it's not money or work or success. It's those two girls sitting in that hospital room teaching each other how to braid hair. The judge studied him. You're asking me to trust you based on 8 days of changed behavior. Yes, Your Honor. That's not much. It's all I have. But I promise you, I will show up every single day. I'll make mistakes. I'll probably fail at 100 things. But I won't give up, and I won't send her away when it gets hard. How can you promise that? Because she saved my daughter's life. I owe her everything. But more than that, I've watched her for 8 days and she's the most remarkable person I've ever met. Smart, brave, loyal. The world told her she was a problem. I see a hero. He looked at Sky. I'm not doing her a favor. She's doing me one. Teaching me how to be better. If you give me this chance, I won't waste it. The judge dismissed him, called Miss Chen. Asked about Sky's history. The failed placements. The behavioral reports. Then she closed her folder. I'll have a decision in 1 hour. Court is in recess. She stood and left. Everyone filed out. Damien and Sky sat in the hallway. Waiting. What do you think? Sky asked. I think we told the truth. That's all we can control. What if she says no? Then we appeal. And we keep fighting until we win. You'd do that? Yes. Why? Damien looked at her. Because 8 days ago, you showed me what courage actually looks like. And I'm not going to let bureaucracy undo that. You belong with us. Period. Sky's eyes filled with tears. She wiped them quickly. I've never had anyone fight for me before. Well, you do now. And I'm not stopping. 58 minutes later, the bailiff called them back in. Judge Morrison sat behind the bench. Her face was unreadable. I've made my decision. This is an unusual case. A child with documented trust issues. An inexperienced guardian with an overwhelming work schedule. Under normal circumstances, I'd deny this petition. Sky's heart sank. However, these aren't normal circumstances. I've reviewed the hospital records. The police reports. I've heard testimony from multiple sources about Sky's actions. This child saved a life through intelligence, courage, and determination that most adults don't possess. The judge looked at Sky. You're not a problem to be managed. You're an extraordinary young person who's been failed by a system that doesn't know what to do with brilliance that doesn't fit a mold. She turned to Damien. Mr. Cross, I'm granting temporary guardianship for 6 months. During that time, you'll have monthly check-ins with social services. Sky will have access to therapy. You'll maintain stable housing and provide educational support. If at any point I believe this placement is failing, I'll remove her immediately. Are those terms clear? Yes, Your Honor. Sky, do you consent to this arrangement? Yes, ma'am. Then it's settled. Guardianship is granted. Good luck to both of Love. And the gavel came down. Sky sat frozen. Couldn't process it. She won. They won. Damien pulled her into a hug. She buried her face in his shoulder and cried. Not sad tears. Relief tears. For the first time in 7 years, someone chose her. Not because they had to. Because they wanted to. Outside the courthouse, Damien's phone rang. The hospital. Lyric wants to know how it went. Sky took the phone. We won. She heard Lyric scream with joy on the other end. When are you coming back? I want to celebrate. We're leaving now. Hurry. I convinced the nurses to let us have ice cream. Sky laughed. We'll be there in 20 minutes. She hung up. Looked at Damien. Ready to go home? He asked. Home. She'd never had one of those. Yeah, she said. I'm ready. They walked to the car together. A billionaire and a foster kid. A father learning how to be a dad. A hero learning she didn't have to fight alone anymore. And somewhere in a hospital room, a girl who'd survived the impossible was waiting for her family to come back. Because that's what they were now. Family. 2 weeks later, Lyric took her first steps. Physical therapy room. 2nd floor. Parallel bars on both sides. Sky stood at the end, arms outstretched. Come on. You can do it. Lyric gripped the bars. Her legs shook. 6 weeks in bed had destroyed her muscle strength. She gasped. It's too hard. You woke up from a coma. This is nothing. That's different. How? I don't know. It just is. The physical therapist, Maria, adjusted Lyric's stance. Small steps. Don't think about the whole distance. Just 1 foot forward. Lyric nodded. Lifted her right foot. It trembled. She placed it down 6 inches ahead. Good, Maria said. Again. Left foot. Another 6 inches. Sweat poured down Lyric's face. Her arms shook from holding herself up. I need to stop. 5 more steps, Sky said. Then you can rest. Sky. 5. You've got this. Lyric glared at her. But she took another step. Then another, her left leg buckled. She started to fall. Sky lunged forward. Caught her before she hit the ground. I got you, Sky said. I always got you. Lyric was crying. I hate this. I hate being weak. You're not weak. You're recovering. There's a difference. Maria brought over a wheelchair. That's enough for today. You did great. I only did 8 steps, yesterday you did 3. Tomorrow you'll do 10. Progress isn't pretty. But it's still progress. They wheeled Lyric back to her room. Damien was waiting there. He'd taken the whole day off work. How'd it go? He asked. 8 steps, Sky announced proudly. That's my girl. But Lyric wasn't smiling. I should be able to walk by now. It's been 2 weeks. Your muscles atrophied, Damien said gently. The doctors said it'll take months. Months? Lyric's voice rose. I'm supposed to start school in 6 weeks. How am I supposed to go to school if I can't even walk? We'll figure it out. How? Damien didn't have an answer. Sky sat on the bed. What if we trained every day? Extra sessions. You and me. Maria already has me doing 2 sessions a day. So we do 3. Or 4. Whatever it takes. You're not a physical therapist. No. But I can motivate you. Push you when you want to quit. I need working legs. Sky was quiet for a moment. Then she said, when I was 7, I broke my arm. Foster mom at the time didn't take me to the hospital for 3 days. Said I was faking for attention. By the time they said it, it healed wrong. Doctor said I'd never have full motion again. She held up her left arm. Rotated it in a full circle. Took me a year of exercises every single night. Hurt so bad I cried myself to sleep. But I did it anyway. Because I refused to let her be right about me. Lyric stared. I didn't know that. Most people don't. They just see what I can do now. Not what it took to get here. She squeezed Lyric's hand. You're going to walk again. Maybe not in 6 weeks. Maybe not in 6 months. But you will. And I'll be here every single day helping you do it. Lyric's tears fell. Promise? Promise. That night, after Damien went home to shower and change, the girls stayed up late. Sky pulled out a deck of cards. Okay. New game. Every hand you win, you have to do 5 leg lifts. That's not a game. That's torture. It's a game that builds strength. Come on. They played for 2 hours. Lyric won 14 hands. 70 leg lifts. By the end, she was exhausted. But she'd done it. Tomorrow, we do 80, Sky said. You're evil. I'm determined. There's a difference. The next morning, Lyric woke up sore. Everything hurt. But Maria noticed something during therapy. Your left leg is stronger today. Whatever you did last night, keep doing it. Sky grinned. Told you. They established a routine. Official therapy twice a day. Card games. At night. Leg lifts before bed. Arm exercises during breakfast. Every day, Lyric got a little bit stronger. 1 week later, she walked 12 steps. The week after that, 20. By week 4, she could walk the length of the room without holding the bars. Maria was shocked. I've never seen recovery this fast. What are you doing? She's pushing me, Lyric said. Pointing at Sky. Well, keep it up. Whatever you're doing is working. But it wasn't just physical therapy helping. Dr. Nash, the psychologist, came 3 times a week. At first, Lyric didn't want to talk. I'm fine. I don't need therapy. Your stepmother tried to kill you. That's not something you just get over. But I survived. It's done. The event is done. The feelings aren't. Lyric crossed her arms. Said nothing. Dr. Nash tried a different approach. Tell me about Sky. Lyric's face changed. What about her? How did you two become friends? She saved my life. I know. But why do you think she did it? Because she's brave. Is that the only reason? Lyric thought about it. She saw me as a person. Not a patient. Not a tragedy. Just someone who needed help. And how did that make you feel? Safe. Like someone actually cared if I lived or died. Dr. Nash nodded. Your father cared too. I know. But he didn't know how to show it. Sky did. Do you resent your father for that? Lyric was quiet for a long time. Sometimes. He was so busy trying to save me with money that he didn't see what was actually happening. If Sky hadn't shown up, I'd be dead. And Dad would have never known Victoria did it on purpose. Are you angry at him? I was. But now I'm just sad. He tried so hard and it was all wrong. But he's trying different now. Actually being here. Asking questions. Learning. Does that help? Yeah, it does. Dr. Nash smiled. You're doing really well, Lyric. Considering everything. I don't feel like I am. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. Some days will be hard. Some days you'll feel like you're moving backward. But you're talking about it. That's huge. After Dr. Nash left, Sky asked, how'd it go? Weird. But good, I think. You don't have to tell me what you talked about. I know. But I want to. Lyric took a breath. I told her I was angry at my dad. For not seeing what Victoria was doing. That's fair. Is it? He's trying so hard now. You can be grateful for who he is now and still hurt about who he was before. Both things can be true. Lyric looked at her friend. How are you so smart about feelings? Because I've had a lot of practice feeling them alone. At least you have people to talk to now. So do you. Sky smiled. Yeah. I guess I do. That evening, Damien brought dinner. Real food, not hospital cafeteria food. They ate together. Talked about everything and nothing. Lyric told them about therapy. Damien shared stories about work. Sky described the tutor's math lesson. Normal conversation. Normal family stuff. It felt strange. But good. After dinner, Damien stood. I have something to show you both. He pulled out his phone. Opened a video. This is the house. I closed on it yesterday. The video showed a large house. Not a mansion. But big. Modern. Lots of windows. 5 bedrooms. One for each of us, plus a guest room and an office. There's a yard. A pool. And this is the important part, it's 10 minutes from the hospital. So we can get here quickly if we need to. He looked nervous. What do you think? It's huge, Sky said. Too big? No. Just different. I've never had my own room before. Well, you do now. Both of you get to decorate however you want. Whatever colors, furniture, posters, anything. Lyric was crying. Again. She cried a lot these days. Dr. Nash said it was normal. We're really going home together? She asked. Yeah. We're really going home together. When? When? As soon as the doctors clear you. Lyric looked at Sky. We're going to be a real family. We already are, Sky said. The house is just a bonus. That night, after Damien left and the lights were dim, Lyric whispered, Sky? Yeah? I'm scared. Of what? That I'll wake up and this will all be gone. That it's too good to be true. Sky reached across the space between their beds. Found Lyric's hand. It's real. I promise. How do you know? Because I'm scared too. But we're scared together. That makes it easier. Lyric squeezed her hand. Forever? Forever. Sky promised. And for the first time since waking up, Lyric believed it. Recovery wasn't just about walking again. It was about learning to trust. To hope. To believe that good things could actually last. The steps were small. Sometimes painful. Often frustrating. But they were moving forward. Together. Victoria's trial started 3 months after her arrest. Damien sat in the courtroom. Front row. He needed to see this. Victoria was led in wearing orange. No designer clothes. No makeup. Hair pulled back. She looked small. Ordinary. Hard to believe this woman had nearly killed his daughter. The prosecutor stood. Your Honor, the state calls Marcus Webb. A man in his 50s took the stand. Damien didn't recognize him. Mr. Webb, please state your occupation. I'm a private investigator. And did you conduct an investigation into Victoria Cross? Yes. At Mr. Cross's request after the arrest. Damien leaned forward. He'd hired Webb to dig into Victoria's past. To understand who she really was. What did you discover? Webb pulled out a file. Victoria Cross isn't her real name. She was born Victoria Brennan. Changed her name legally 8 years ago. Murmurs in the courtroom. Why did she change it? To hide her history. Before she met Damien Cross, she was married 3 times. All 3 husbands died under suspicious circumstances. The courtroom erupted. The judge banged her gavel. Order. Damien's blood ran cold. 3 dead husbands. Continue, Mr. Webb. First husband, Robert Brennan. Died in a car accident. Brakes failed. She inherited $200,000. Second husband, James Mitchell. Fell down the stairs. Neck broken. She got his life insurance. $500,000. Third husband, Anthony Rivera. Heart attack at age 38. No history of heart problems. She got the house and his business. Worth about $1 million. And authorities investigated these deaths. They did. But nothing was ever proven. Each death was ruled accidental or natural causes. What changed? I requested autopsies be reopened. New technology. New tests. Anthony Rivera's body showed traces of digoxin. A heart medication. But he was never prescribed it. Someone gave it to him deliberately. Victoria's lawyer objected. This is speculation. No direct evidence. The evidence will show, the prosecutor interrupted, that Victoria Cross has a pattern of marrying wealthy men and engineering their deaths to inherit money. The judge allowed it. Webb continued. After Anthony Rivera, she disappeared for 2 years. Changed her name. Created a new identity. Then she met Damien Cross. Damien felt sick. She'd planned everything from the start. How long after meeting Mr. Cross did she begin targeting his daughter? Within 6 months of marriage, she increased Lyric's life insurance to $5 million. She also made sure she was named secondary guardian in case something happened to Mr. Cross. So if both Mr. Cross and Lyric died, Victoria would inherit everything. The estate is worth approximately $3 billion. The courtroom gasped. $3 billion. That's what his daughter's life was worth to Victoria. Was Lyric the only target? Webb hesitated. Looked at Damien. No. Explain. I found evidence that Victoria was slowly poisoning Mr. Cross as well. Small doses of arsenic in his coffee. Not enough to kill. Immediately. But over time, it would have caused organ failure. Damien's hands gripped the bench. She was killing him too. Mr. Cross had blood work done after I informed him. Elevated arsenic levels confirmed it. If he'd continued drinking that coffee for another 6 months, he'd likely be dead. The prosecutor turned to the jury. Victoria Cross isn't just a woman who tried to kill her stepdaughter. She's a serial killer who's been murdering for money for over a decade. Victoria's lawyer jumped up. Objection. My client hasn't been charged with, yet, the prosecutor said. But the FBI is investigating all 3 previous deaths. Charges are pending. The judge called a recess. Damien stumbled out of the courtroom. Found a bathroom. Threw up. She'd been poisoning him. For months. Maybe longer. His coffee. She always made his coffee. How close had he come to dying? A knock on the door. Dad. Sky's voice. He cleaned up. Opened the door. Both girls stood there. They'd watched from the gallery. You heard? He asked. They nodded. I'm okay, he said quickly. The doctors cleared the arsenic out of my system. I'm fine. She tried to kill you too, Lyric said. Her voice was flat. Emotionless. But she didn't. I'm here. Because Sky figured it out. If she hadn't, you'd be dead. And I'd be dead. And Victoria would have everything. Damien pulled her into a hug. We're not dead. We're here. We're safe. Are we? She's still alive. What if she gets out? What if she won't? They have her on attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud. Now they're reopening 3 more murder cases. She's never getting out. But Lyric was shaking. I knew she didn't like me. But I didn't know she wanted me dead. From the beginning. Even before the coma. Sky took her hand. Some people are just evil. It's not your fault. I should have seen it. You were 8 years old. How were you supposed to see it? Lyric pulled away from both of them. I need air. She walked down the hallway. Damien started to follow, but Sky stopped him. Let her process. She needs space sometimes. What if she won't run. She just needs 5 minutes. Damien watched his daughter walk away. Wanted to chase after her. Protect her. But Sky was right. Sometimes protecting meant giving space. They waited. 5 minutes later, Lyric came back. Eyes red but face composed. Okay, she said. I'm okay. You don't have to be okay, Damien said. I know. But I am. Or I will be. She looked at Sky. Can we go home after this? Yeah. We can go home. The trial continued for 2 more days. More witnesses. More evidence. Financial records showing Victoria's planning. Emails to Dr. Hargrove. Everything laid out in brutal detail. Victoria didn't testify. Her lawyer advised against it. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing would come later. But the prosecutor was asking for life without parole. As Victoria was led away, she looked at Damien one last time. No remorse. No apology. Just cold calculation in her eyes. Like she was already planning her next move. It made Damien's skin crawl. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed them. Mr. Cross, how do you feel about the verdict? Relieved. Justice was served. Did you have any idea about your wife's past? No. She hid it well. What about your daughter? How is she coping? Damien put his arm around Lyric. She's strong. We all are. And the girl who saved her? Sky Martinez. Is it true you've adopted her? Guardianship is being finalized next month. But yes, she's my daughter now. Sky looked up at him. Surprised. He'd never said it like that before. My daughter. Not foster child. Not ward. Daughter. One more question. Do you blame yourself for not seeing what Victoria was doing? Damien paused. Every day. But blame doesn't change the past. All I can do is be better going forward. Be present. Be aware. Be the father my daughters deserve. They pushed through the reporters. Got into the car. The drive home was quiet. Finally, Lyric spoke. She married you to kill us. She would have won. Yes. So we owe her everything. Damien looked in the rearview mirror. Met Sky's eyes. We do. Sky shifted uncomfortably. You don't owe me anything. I just did what was right. That's why we owe you, Lyric said. Because you didn't have to. But you did anyway. They pulled into the driveway. Their house. Their home. 3 months of living together. Learning each other. Building something new. It wasn't perfect. Damien still worked too much sometimes. Sky still woke up with nightmares. Lyric still had hard days where her body wouldn't cooperate. But they were together. And they were trying. That night, Damien couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Victoria. About how close he'd come to losing everything. His daughter. His life. His chance to be better. A knock on his door. Sky. Can't sleep either, he asked. Nightmares. Want to talk about it? She shook her head. Can I just sit here for a minute? Yeah. Of course. She sat in the chair by his window. Looked out at the dark yard. Do you ever think about what would have happened if I hadn't come to the hospital? Every day. Does it scare you? Terrifies me. Me too. They sat in silence for a while. Sky? Yeah? Thank you. For saving us. For staying. For teaching me how to be a dad. You're doing good. Better than most. I'm trying. That's all any of us can do. She stood. I'm going to try to sleep again. Okay. If you need anything, I know. You're here. She left. Damien sat alone in the dark. Thinking about Victoria. About evil, about how close it had come to destroying his family. But it didn't. Because a 10-year-old girl refused to look away. And that made all the difference. For months after the trial, everything fell apart. It started with a phone call. Miss Chen from Social Services. We need to talk about Sky's placement. Damien's stomach dropped. What about it? There's been a complaint filed. Anonymous. Claims the environment isn't suitable. That's ridiculous. Who filed it? I can't say. But there's going to be a surprise home visit tomorrow. I wanted to give you a heads up. She hung up. Damien called his lawyer immediately. Someone's trying to take Sky away. Who? I don't know. But they filed a complaint with Social Services. Could be Victoria's family. Or someone she paid before her arrest. Can they do that? She's in prison for life. Money doesn't stop working just because you're locked up. If she set something in motion before the trial, it could still be happening. Damien felt ice in his veins. So what do we do? Pass the home visit. Show them everything is fine. If they find nothing wrong, the complaint goes nowhere. That night, Damien told the girls. Someone reported us? Lyric asked. For what? I don't know. But social services is coming tomorrow to inspect the house. Sky went very still. They're going to take me away. No. They're not. You don't know that. This is what always happens. Things are good, then someone complains. Then I get moved. This is different. How? Damien didn't have an answer. Sky stood up. I should pack. That way it's easier when they come. Sky, stop. I knew this was too good to last. I always know. She walked to her room. Closed the door. Lyric looked at her father. You have to fix this. I'm trying. Try harder. The next day, Miss Chen arrived at 10 a.m. With her was another social worker. Mr. Green. Tall. Cold eyes. This is a routine evaluation, Miss Chen said. Nothing to worry about. But Damien saw her face. She was worried. They walked through the house. Checked the bedrooms. The kitchen. The bathrooms. Everything looks good, Miss Chen said. But Green was taking notes. The girl's room, it's very sparse. Damien frowned. She just moved in 4 months ago. She's still decorating. Or she knows it's temporary. Subconsciously preparing to leave. That's not. I'd like to speak with Sky. Alone. They found her in the backyard. Reading. Sky, this is Mr. Green. He wants to talk with you. She looked up. Saw his face. Immediately, her guard went up. Okay. Pulled out a recorder. I'm going to ask you some questions. Answer honestly. Okay. Are you happy here? Yes. Do you feel safe? Yes. Does Mr. Cross provide adequate food, shelter, and supervision? Yes. Green made notes. How many hours a day is he home? I don't know. Depends. Estimate. Maybe 4 or 5 during the week. More on weekends. So you're alone most of the time? No. I'm with Lyric. And there's a tutor who comes every day. But no parent present? He works. Adults work. But you're 10 years old. You need supervision. Sky's jaw tightened. I'm fine. How often does Mr. Cross check your homework? Every night. Really? Every single night? Sky hesitated. There were nights Damien got home late. Nights she was already asleep. Green saw the hesitation. So not every night. Most nights. How many nights last week? Sky couldn't remember. 4. Green wrote it down. Made it sound bad. Tell me about school. You're not enrolled anywhere. I have a tutor. It's better for my pace. Or it's isolation. Keeping you away from peers and mandatory reporters who might notice problems. That's not what's happening. How do you know? You've been in 7 foster homes. You recognize patterns. Is this home different? Or is it the same pattern dressed up with money? Sky's hands shook. It's different. How? Because they care. Actually care. Not fake care. How do you measure that? I just know. That's not good enough for the state. Green stood up. Thank you, Sky. That's all. He walked back inside with Miss Chen. They talked in hushed tones. Damien tried to hear but couldn't. Finally, they came out. Mr. Cross, we have concerns, Green said. What concerns? Inadequate supervision. Social isolation. Potential emotional manipulation. That's insane. Sky is thriving here. According to you. But our job is to verify independently. And right now, we can't. Miss Chen spoke softly. There's also the matter of your work schedule. When we granted guardianship, you promised to be present. But records show you've been traveling for business 3 times in the last month. Short trips. 2 days each. I made sure, it doesn't matter what you made sure of. The agreement was stability. Presence. You haven't delivered. Green pulled out papers. We're recommending removal pending further evaluation. Sky heard it from the yard. Came running. No. Please. I don't want to go. It's temporary, Green said. Just find the 10. Until we verify. You're lying. You'll put me somewhere and forget about me. That's what always happens. Sky. Calm down. I won't calm down. This is my home. These are my people. Green's expression hardened. This reaction proves you're not emotionally stable. The placement is clearly causing distress. The removal is causing distress. Damien stepped forward. You can't do this. We followed every rule. Every guideline. We can and we are. Pack a bag, Sky. You're coming with us. No. Lyric appeared in the doorway. Still using a cane but standing. You can't take her. Young lady, this isn't your decision. She saved my life. She's my sister. You can't just take her because some anonymous person complained. Green ignored her. Turned to Sky. Go pack. Now. Sky looked at Damien. At Lyric. Tears streaming. I knew it, she whispered. I knew this would happen. She went inside. Up to her room. Damien's lawyer was already on the phone. I'm filing an emergency injunction. Don't let them take her. But Green had the authority. The paperwork. The system on his side. 10 minutes later, Sky came down with a small backpack. Everything she owned fit in one bag. Just like always. Sky, I promise, I'm going to fix this. Damien said. I won't stop fighting. Everyone says that. I mean it. So did they. She walked past him. Got into the social services van. Lyric was sobbing. Dad, do something. But there was nothing he could do. Green had legal authority. The van pulled away. Sky didn't look back. Inside, Damien stood frozen. Lyric collapsed on the couch. We have to get her back, she said. We will. When? Soon, I promise. But even as he said it, he wasn't sure he could keep that promise. The system had taken her. And the system rarely gave people back. His phone rang. His lawyer. I filed the injunction. Hearing is in 3 days. But Damien, you need to know Green is connected to Victoria's family, her cousin. He's doing this on purpose. Can we prove it? I'm working on it. But even if we can, it'll take time. Weeks, maybe months. Sky doesn't have months. She thinks we abandoned her. Then you better show her you didn't. Damien hung up. Looked at Lyric. We're going to get her back, he said. How? I don't know yet. But we are. Whatever it takes. Lyric wiped her tears. Then let's start now. What do we do first? Damien pulled out his phone. Started making calls. To lawyers. To private investigators. To every connection he had. Money couldn't solve everything. But it could open doors. Speed up processes. Put pressure on the right people. He'd use every resource he had. Because Sky wasn't just some foster kid. She was his daughter. And nobody took his daughter away. Meanwhile, in the back of the social services van, Sky stared out the window. Watching her home disappear. The first real home she'd ever had. Gone. Just like she knew it would be. She'd been stupid to hope. To believe. To think this time would be different. Hope was dangerous. It made you weak. Made you vulnerable. She wouldn't make that mistake again. The van pulled up to a group home. Large building. Institutional. Sky knew the type. She'd been in 6 of them before. Green walked her to the door. You'll stay here until we complete our evaluation. How long? However long it takes. He left her with a woman named Mrs. Patterson. Middle-aged. Tired eyes. Room 3. Second floor. Dinner is at 6. Sky climbed the stairs. Found room 3. 4 bunk beds. 7 other girls. They all looked up when she entered. New girl, one said. What you do? Nothing. Everyone says that. Sky didn't respond. Found an empty bunk. Put her backpack on it. That's Maya's bed, another girl said. She'll be back tomorrow. Then I'll move tomorrow. You got an attitude. I got nothing to lose. The girls laughed. Yeah. You'll fit in fine. But Sky didn't want to fit in. She wanted to go home. Back to Lyric. Back to Damien. Back to the family she'd finally found. But wanting didn't matter. The system had decided. And kids like her didn't get to fight back. Or did they? Sky looked out the window. At the city lights in the distance. Somewhere out there, Damien and Lyric were planning. Fighting. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe this time, someone would actually come for her. She wanted to believe it. But belief was dangerous. So instead, she made a plan. Because if they couldn't get her out, she'd get herself out. One way or another, she was going home. Day 2 in the group home. Sky had barely slept. The other girls talked all night. Laughed. Fought. Cried. She lay on the borrowed bunk and stared at the ceiling. At 6 a.m., breakfast. Cafeteria style. Oatmeal that tasted like paste. At 7, Mrs. Patterson called her down to the office. But it was Miss Chen. Alone. How are you adjusting? She asked. I'm not. Sky, I know this is hard. Do you? Have you ever been ripped away from the only family you've ever had because some stranger filed a complaint? Miss Chen's face softened. I didn't want this. I advocated for you to stay. But Green overruled you. Yes. Why? What did we do wrong? Miss Chen hesitated. Looked at the door. Then back at Sky. Can I trust you to keep something quiet? Depends what it is. Green is connected to Victoria Cross. Her cousin. I didn't know until yesterday. Sky's blood went cold. So this is revenge. I think so. But I can't prove it. He's covered his tracks well. Then what good are you? The words came out harsh. But Sky was tired of adults who meant well but did nothing. Miss Chen didn't flinch. I'm documenting everything. Every decision he makes. Every conversation. I'm building a case. How long will that take? I don't know. Weeks? Months? Maybe both. I don't have months. Every day I'm here, Damien and Lyric think I gave up on them. And I start believing it too. They know you didn't give up. Damien's called my office 12 times. He's hired 3 lawyers. He's not stopping. Good. Because neither am I. Miss Chen leaned forward. What does that mean? It means I'm not staying here, Sky. If you run, it makes everything worse. They'll use it as proof you're unstable. I'm not running. I'm going home. That's the same thing. No. Running is giving up. Going home is fighting back. Miss Chen stood. Please don't do anything reckless. Let the system work. The system doesn't work. It just pretends to. Miss Chen left. Locked the door behind her. Sky sat alone in the office. Through the window, she could see the street. Cars passing. People free to go wherever they wanted. She was trapped. Again. That night, one of the girls, Jasmine, sat next to her at dinner. You're planning something, she said. I can tell. I'm not. Yes, you are. I've been here 2 years. I know the look. Sky said nothing. If you're thinking about running, don't. And when they do, they send you somewhere worse. There's nowhere worse than here. Shows what you know. There's a lockdown facility 2 hours north. For problem kids. No windows. Guards everywhere. You run, that's where you go. Thanks for the warning. I'm serious. Whatever family you think is waiting for you, they're not. Adults lie. They always do. Sky looked at her. Not all of them. Enough of them. Jasmine walked away. But her words stuck. What if she was right? What if Damien stopped fighting? What if the lawyers couldn't win? What if Sky ended up stuck here forever? No. She wouldn't let that happen. That night, after lights out, Sky waited until everyone was asleep. Then she got up. Grabbed her backpack. Climbed out the window. Second floor. Fire escape led down to the alley. She'd done this before. At 3 other group homes. She knew how to disappear. Hit the ground running. Through the alley. Past the main street. Into the neighborhoods. She had Damien's address memorized. 12 miles away. She could walk it. 2 hours later, she was halfway there when headlights appeared behind her. A car slowed. Pulled up next to her. Police. Little late for a walk, isn't it? The officer said. Sky's stomach dropped. I'm just heading home. Where's home? She gave Damien's address. That's 8 miles from here. You planning to walk? Yes. At midnight. 10-year-old girl alone? I'm fine. I'm sure you are. But I still need to call it in. He radioed dispatch. Gave Sky's description. 2 minutes later, the radio crackled. Run away from Maple Group home. Return her immediately. The officer sighed. Get in the car. No. Kid. Don't make this harder. I'm not going back there. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. She ran. The officer cursed. Got out of the car. Chased her. But Sky was fast. Small. She ducked between houses. Through yards. Lost him after 3 blocks. She kept running. Another mile. Then another. Her lungs burned. Legs ached. But she didn't stop. Finally, she saw it. Damien's house. Lights on in the living room. She ran up the driveway. Pounded on the door. Damien opened it. Shock on his face. Sky. She collapsed into his arms. Sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't stay there. I couldn't. It's okay. You're okay. Come inside. He pulled her in. Lyric appeared from the living room. Sky. They hugged. All 3 of them. How did you get here? Damien asked. Walked. Ran. I don't know. The group home is going to call. They're going to send police. I don't care. I'm not going back. Damien's phone rang. He looked at the screen. Miss Chen. He answered. She's here. With me. Damien, you need to return her immediately. If you don't, they'll charge you with custodial interference. I don't care. You should. You'll lose any chance of getting her back legally. She ran to me. Doesn't that tell you something? It tells me she's scared. But hiding her makes everything worse. Then what do I do? Silence on the other end. Bring her back voluntarily. Tomorrow morning. Show you're cooperating. I'll document that she came to you. That she considers you her safe place. It helps the case. Damien looked at Sky. She shook her head violently. Please, Miss Chen said. Trust me. I'm on your side. But you have to play this right. Damien hung up. I'm not going back, Sky said. I know. But we have to do this smart. There is no smart. The system wants me gone. Green won't stop until Green is going to be investigated. My lawyer found proof he's been taking money from Victoria's family. They paid him to remove you. Sky froze. You have proof? Bank records. Emails. Everything. We're filing charges tomorrow. Will it work? I don't know. But it's the best shot we have. And until then? Until then, we show we're following the rules. That we're responsible. That you belong here. Sky wanted to argue. To fight. To refuse. But she saw the determination in Damien's eyes. He wasn't giving up. He was strategizing. Maybe for once, the system could work. If they played it right. Okay, she said quietly. I'll go back tomorrow. But only if you promise to fight. I promise. Every single day. Whatever it takes. That night, Sky slept in her own bed. For one night, she was home. The next morning, Damien drove her back to the group home. Green was waiting. Furious. She ran away. That's grounds for. She came to me, Damien interrupted. Because she was scared. Because she trusts me. And I brought her back voluntarily because I'm cooperating with the system. Miss Chin was there too. I'm documenting this. Mr. Cross has acted responsibly. Green's jaw clenched. This isn't over. No, Damien said. It's not. Because this afternoon, my lawyers are filing charges against you. For bribery. For corruption. For using your position to settle a personal vendetta. Green's face went pale. You can't prove. Bank records from Victoria Cross's family trust. 5 payments to your account over the last 6 months. Including one the day before you filed the complaint against me. Green took a step back. You're done, Damien said. And when you're gone, I'm getting my daughter back. He looked at Sky. Be strong. This is almost over. Sky nodded. Damien left. Green stared at Miss Chen. You're part of this. You told him I did my job. I documented inconsistencies. Mr. Cross drew his own conclusions. Green stormed out. Miss Chen turned to Sky. You okay? Yeah. He can't hurt you anymore. I'll make sure of it. How long until I can go home? If everything goes right? A week. Maybe less. A week. 7 more days. Sky could survive. 7 days. She'd survived worse. That afternoon, news broke. Green was suspended pending investigation. The complaint against Damien was dropped. Emergency hearing scheduled for 3 days from now. Sky sat in the group home common room, watching the news on TV. Jasmine sat down next to her. Guess you were right, she said. Some adults don't lie. Some, Sky agreed. Must be nice. Having someone fight for you. Yeah. It is. Jasmine looked at the TV. Think they'd fight for me too. Sky looked at her. Really looked. Jasmine was 14. Been in the system since she was 6. No family. No one fighting. Maybe, Sky said. I could ask. Really? Yeah. Everyone deserves someone to fight for them. Jasmine smiled. First real smile Sky had seen from her. Thanks. 3 days later, Sky stood in court again. Different judge this time. Judge Patterson. I've reviewed the case, he said. Including the evidence of corruption by Mr. Green. The complaint is dismissed. Guardianship is reinstated immediately. The gavel came down. It was over. Sky was going home. Damien picked her up an hour later. Lyric was in the car. Crying happy tears. Welcome home, she said. For real this time? Sky asked. For real this time, Damien confirmed. No more complaints. No more investigations. You're ours. Legally. Permanently. Sky didn't cry. She was too tired for tears. But she smiled. Really smiled. For the first time in days. She was home. And this time, no one could take it away. Justice. Green is done and Sky is going home for good. But listen, there are only 2 chapters left and Victoria's final confrontation is going to be explosive. If you've made it this far in this story, you're part of this family now. Hit subscribe to see how this all ends, and comment below, would you have run away like Sky did, or would you have stayed and waited? Also, should Damien help Jasmine too? Let me know. Don't disappear now, we're almost at the finish line and it's going to be worth it. I'm literally crying right now. Sky finally has her family. If this moment hit you in the feels, do me a favor, subscribe and turn on notifications because we're not done yet. Victoria still has one more card to play, and it's going to shake this family to the core. Comment family if you believe Sky, Lyric, and Damien deserve this happiness. Seriously, I want to hear from you. What's been your favorite moment so far? 6 months later. Victoria's appeal hearing. Damien got the notice in the mail. His hands shook as he read it. She's appealing her sentence. Claims her trial was unfair. Lyric looked up from her homework. Can she do that? Apparently. The hearing is next week. Do we have to go? I do. She's asking for a reduced sentence. I need to testify against it. Sky walked in from the kitchen. I'm coming too. You don't have to. Yes, I do. She tried to kill Lyric. She tried to destroy us. I'm facing her. Damien wanted to argue. To protect her from seeing Victoria again. But he understood. Sky needed closure. They all did. The hearing was different from the trial. Smaller room. Fewer people. Victoria was led in. She looked thinner. Older. Prison had aged her. But her eyes were the same. Cold. Calculating. She saw Damien. Smiled slightly. It made his skin crawl. The judge reviewed the appeal. Mrs. Cross claims several irregularities in her trial. Insufficient evidence. Biased jury selection. Improper testimony from Mr. Webb regarding previous marriages. Victoria's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client's past should not have been admissible. It prejudiced the jury against her. Those deaths are relevant, the prosecutor argued. They establish a pattern of behavior. Alleged deaths. None were proven murders. Until Anthony Rivera's autopsy showed poisoning. The lawyers argued back and forth. Finally, the judge raised his hand. I'll hear from Mr. Cross first. Then from the defendant. Damien took the stand. Victoria watched him. Never looked away. Mr. Cross, your wife was convicted of attempting to murder your daughter and conspiracy to murder you. Do you believe she deserves a reduced sentence? No. Why not? Because she's a serial killer. She murdered 3 husbands before she met me. She planned to murder my daughter and me for money. She showed no remorse at trial. No remorse now. She's dangerous. Do you fear her? Yes. If she gets out, she'll finish what she started. I have no doubt. Victoria's lawyer objected. Speculation. Not fact. The prosecutor said. The judge allowed it. Sky testified next. She walked to the stand. Small. But fearless. Miss Martinez, you weren't part of the original family. Why are you here? Because Victoria tried to kill someone I love. And she needs to stay locked up. Do you believe she's dangerous? I know she is. I saw it in her eyes that night in the ICU. She wasn't upset or panicked. She was cold. Like killing Lyric was just a problem to solve. And if she's released early, she'll kill again. People like her don't change. They just get better at hiding. Victoria's lawyer tried to discredit her. You're a child. You have no expertise in psychology or criminal behavior. I don't need expertise. I spent 6 weeks studying Lyric's case. I saw Victoria manipulate doctors and nurses. I watched her pretend to care while she was actually killing. I know evil when I see it. That's your opinion. It's the truth. The lawyer looked frustrated. No further questions. Lyric testified last. She needed her cane to walk to the stand. Physical therapy had helped, but she'd never fully recover. Miss Cross, how has this experience affected you? I can't sleep without nightmares. I don't trust people easily. I still have panic attacks when I remember that night in the fences hospital. Do you fear Victoria? Every day. I know she's locked up. But I still check my doors at night. Still look over my shoulder. Still wonder if somehow she'll get out. And if she does, she'll come for us. I know she will. The judge called a recess. During the break, Victoria's lawyer approached Damien. My client wants to speak with you. Privately. No. She says she has information you need to hear. I don't care what she has to say. It's about your wife. Your first wife. Damien froze. What about her? Victoria says she knew her. Before she died. Damien's blood went cold. That's impossible. My first wife died a year before I met Victoria. Just hear her out. 5 minutes. Against every instinct, Damien agreed. They brought him to a small room. Victoria sat at a table. Handcuffed. Hello, Damien. What do you want? To tell you the truth. You don't know how. Victoria smiled. Your first wife. Caroline. Cancer, right? Don't you dare talk about her. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Died within 6 months of diagnosis. Get to the point. She didn't have cancer. Damien's world tilted. What? I poisoned her. Slowly. Over 8 months. Symptoms looked exactly like cancer. Doctors never questioned it. You're lying. Am I? Check the records. She was perfectly healthy before I started working at her office. I was her assistant for 6 months before she got sick. Damien felt like he was drowning. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to know. I've been part of your life for over a decade. Long before you ever knew I existed. You killed Caroline to get to me? I killed Caroline because she was in the way. You were already successful. Already wealthy. I'd been watching you for years. Planning. Damien's hands clenched. You're a monster. I'm practical. And patient. If that little brat hadn't shown up, I'd have everything by now. Can you prove any of this? No. That's the beauty of it. Caroline's body was cremated. No evidence. No proof. Just the truth. Then why tell me? Because even if I stay in prison, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering. Every happy memory with Caroline, every moment you thought was real, I poisoned all of it, literally and figuratively. She leaned forward. I took 10 years of your life, Damien. And there's nothing you can do about it. Damien stood. Walked to the door. Oh, and Damien. Victoria called. Watch your back. My family is very loyal. Very patient. Just like me. Damien left. Slammed the door. In the hallway, he collapsed against the wall. Caroline. Beautiful, kind Caroline. Dead because of Victoria. And he'd never known. Sky found him. What happened? He told her. Everything. Sky's face went dark. She's trying to break you. Don't let her. She killed Caroline. She killed my first wife. You don't know that. She has no proof. She could be lying just to hurt you. What if she's not? Then you grieve. And then you move forward. Because that's what Caroline would want. That's what Lyric needs. That's what I need. Damien looked at her. This 10-year-old girl with more wisdom than most adults. You're right. I know. They went back to the courtroom. The judge returned. I've reviewed all testimony and evidence. The appeal is denied. Victoria Cross will serve her full sentence of life without parole. Relief flooded through Damien. It was over. Victoria was led away. She looked back once. Not at Damien. At Sky. And she mouthed two words. Not over. Sky stared back. Didn't flinch. Mouthed back, yes it is. Victoria disappeared through the door. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed again. Mr. Cross, how do you feel about the appeal being denied? Grateful. Justice was served. Your daughter testified today. How is she coping? She's strong. We all are. There are rumors Victoria confessed to additional murders. Can you confirm? No comment. That's for the police to investigate. They pushed through to the car. Inside, silence. Finally, Lyric spoke. Is it really over? Yes, Damien said. She's never getting out. Never. But she threatened us. Her family. I've hired security. For the house. For you girls. 24/7. No one is getting close to you. For how long? As long as it takes. Sky looked out the window. She wanted to scare us. Make us live in fear. Are you scared? Lyric asked. No. I'm angry. But I'm not giving her the satisfaction of being afraid. They drove home. Security cars followed. Discreet but present. At the house, Damien gathered them in the living room. I need to tell you both something. About Victoria and my first wife. He explained everything. The confession. The implications. Lyric cried. I don't know. Victoria had no proof. She could be lying. But she could be telling the truth. Maybe. But either way, it doesn't change what I remember. Your mother was kind and loving. That was real. But what if, no what ifs, Sky interrupted. Victoria wins if we let her poison our memories. We remember the good. We move forward. We don't give her power. Damien pulled both girls close. Sky's right. Victoria took enough from us. She doesn't get to take our past too. They sat together. Processing. Healing. Outside, the sun set. Inside, a family held each other. Broken, but together. And that was enough. 1 year later. Lyric stood at the front of a packed auditorium. No cane. No assistants. Just her. Standing. Strong. My name is Lyric Cross. A year ago, I couldn't walk. Couldn't talk. Couldn't breathe on my own. Her voice carried through the room. Clear, confident. The doctors said I'd never fully recover. Said the damage was too severe. Said I should accept my limitations. She paused. Looked at Sky in the front row. But my sister taught me something. Limitations are just opinions. And opinions can be wrong. The crowd applauded. This was the hospital's annual fundraiser. 500 people. Doctors, donors, survivors. Lyric was the keynote speaker. I'm not here to tell you a miracle happened. I'm here to tell you that hard work happened. Every single day for a year. Physical therapy. Speech therapy. Mental health counseling. Hours and hours of work. She took a breath. But I'm also here to tell you that none of it would have mattered if someone hadn't cared enough to look. To question. To fight. She gestured to Sky. My sister saved my life. Not with a medical degree. Not with years of training. But with observation, courage, and refusing to accept what everyone else accepted. Sky shifted uncomfortably. She hated being the center of attention. The system failed me. The experts failed me. The machines failed me. But one 10-year-old girl refused to fail me. And that made all the difference. Standing ovation. Lyric waited for it to quiet down. This hospital has changed because of what happened. New protocols. Patient advocates. Multiple doctor approval for major decisions. Families now have access to all medical records in real time. She looked at the hospital board members in attendance. These changes will save lives. Because they force us to question. To look closer. To never assume we have all the answers. More applause. I'm walking today because someone questioned. Someone looked closer. Someone refused to give up. She smiled at Sky, and now she's teaching others to do the same. After the speech, people swarmed them. Your story is incredible. You're so brave. What an inspiration. Sky hung back. Let Lyric have the spotlight. But a woman approached her. Dr. Martinez. No relation. You're Sky, right? Yeah. I'm head of the medical education program here. I'd like to talk to you about something. Okay. We're starting a program for high school students interested in medicine, observation-based learning, critical thinking, questioning established protocols. We want you to help design it. I'm 11. I know. That's why we want you. You see things differently. We need that perspective. Sky looked at Damien. He nodded encouragement. Okay. I'll do it. Great. We start next month. As Dr. Martinez walked away, Jasmine appeared. The girl from the group home. She'd been placed with Damien and the girls 6 months ago. Temporary at first. But now adoption papers were being filed. That was cool, Jasmine said. People actually listen to you. Sometimes. When they're forced to. Still. Better than nothing. 3 months later, Sky stood in front of a classroom. 15 high school students. All interested in medicine. Everyone thinks medicine is about memorization, she said. Knowing symptoms. Following protocols. But it's not. It's about seeing what others miss. She pulled up Lyric's original medical charts on the screen. This patient was in a coma. Every doctor said more oxygen would help. Look at the data. What do you see? The students studied the charts. One raised his hand. Brain activity drops every time oxygen increases. Exactly. It's right there. Clear pattern. But nobody saw it because nobody looked. They assumed more oxygen equals better. Another student spoke up. So we should question everything? Question intelligently. Look at data. Make observations. Don't just accept what you're told. She spent an hour teaching them. Showing them patterns. Training them to think differently. At the end, a girl approached. You really saved someone's life at 10? Yeah. How? I paid attention. That's it. I just paid attention when everyone else was too busy or too certain to look. Think I could do that? Sky studied her. Saw the same hunger for knowledge she'd had. Yeah. I think you could. 6 months later, Damien's foundation launched officially. The Sky Martinez Foundation for Foster Youth in Medicine. Full scholarships for kids in the system who showed aptitude for healthcare. Not just money. Mentorship. Resources. Support. The launch event was huge. Media coverage. Celebrity endorsements. Major donors. But the best part was the first class of recipients. 12 kids. Ages 13 to 17. All from foster care. They stood on stage while Sky gave the welcome speech. You've been told your problems. Burdens. Kids nobody wants. She paused. That's a lie. You're brilliant. You're survivors. You've seen things most people never see. That perspective is valuable. Essential. She looked at each of them. This foundation exists because I got lucky. Someone fought for me. Now I'm fighting for you. We all are. Damien stood beside her. Lyric on the other side. Jasmine next to her. A family built from broken pieces. You're not alone anymore, Sky continued. You have support. You have resources. You have people who believe in you. She smiled. Now go prove everyone wrong. Show them what foster kids can do. The crowd erupted. That night, back at home, the four of them sat in the living room. Today was good, Lyric said. Yeah, Sky agreed. You think those kids will make it? Jasmine asked. Some will. Some won't. But they'll all have a better shot than they had before. Damien looked at his 3 daughters. All different. All survivors. I'm proud of all of you, he said. What we've built. Who we've become. We're still figuring it out, Sky said. That's okay. Families aren't perfect. They're just people who keep showing up. Is that from a book? Lyric teased. No. It's from a very wise 10-year-old who taught me everything I know about being a dad. Sky rolled her eyes. But she smiled. 2 years after that day in the ICU, everything had changed. Lyric was in high school. Captain of the debate team. Walking without assistance. Scars on her body but not in her spirit. Jasmine was thriving. Top of her class. Planning to study social work. Determined to fix the system that had failed her. Sky was 13. Still small. Still fierce. Running programs at the hospital. Teaching adults twice her age how to see what they'd been missing. And Damien was home every night for dinner. No exceptions. No excuses. The foundation had helped 43 kids so far. More applications coming in every day. Victoria was still in prison. No more appeals. No more chances. Dr. Hargrove was serving 10 years. Teaching medical ethics to other inmates. Trying to make amends. Green lost his license. Facing charges. Possibly prison. The people who'd caused the pain were gone. The people who survived were thriving. One evening, Sky found an old photo. Her at 10. In the ICU. Holding Lyric's hand. Both of them so small. So scared. Fighting against impossible odds, she showed it to Lyric. We were babies, Lyric said. We were warriors. Same thing. They laughed. Do you ever think about that night? Lyric asked. When Victoria broke into the ICU? Sometimes. Me too. I still have nightmares. Doctor Nash says that's normal. I know. But it's annoying. Yeah. They sat quiet for a moment. Sky? Yeah. Thank you. For saving my life. For staying. For being my sister. You'd have done the same. I don't know if I would've. I wasn't brave like you. You survived 6 weeks in a coma while someone tried to kill you. That's pretty brave. That's different. How? Lyric thought about it. I guess it's not. Sky hugged her. We saved each other. That's what matters. Downstairs, Damien was on the phone with another family. Another child in crisis. Another case where the system was failing. I'll make some calls, he said. Get you connected with people who can help. He hung up. Jasmine was doing homework at the kitchen table. Another one? She asked. Yeah. Kid in a coma. Doctors aren't listening to the parents. You sending Sky? Not yet. But if they need her, yeah. Jasmine smiled. She's like a medical superhero now. She always was. People are just finally noticing. The doorbell rang. Damien answered. Miss Chen stood there. Miss Chen. Come in. I can't stay long. Just wanted to drop this off. She handed him an envelope. What is it? Final adoption papers. For Jasmine. Judge signed them today. Damien's throat tightened. It's official? It's official. She's yours. Permanently. He called upstairs. Jasmine. Come down here. She appeared. Saw Miss Chen. Her face fell. What did I do? Nothing. Look. He showed her the papers. Her eyes widened. The adoption went through? You're across now. Officially. Jasmine burst into tears. Happy tears. Sky and Lyric came running down. What happened? Jasmine's adoption is final. Damien announced. They all hugged. Crying and laughing. Miss Chen watched. Smiled. You did good, Mr. Cross. All of you did good. She left them to celebrate. That night, the four of them ordered pizza, watched movies. Stayed up too late. Just a normal family doing normal things. Except nothing about them was normal. They were built from tragedy. Forged in crisis. Survived things that should have destroyed them. But they were here. Together. Strong. Sky looked around the room. At Damien. At Lyric. At Jasmine. Her family. Not perfect. Not easy. But real. And worth every fight. What are you thinking about? Lyric asked. Just that a year ago, I was alone. Now I have everything. Cheesy, Jasmine teased. But true, Sky said. Damien raised his soda can. To family. However we find it. They all clinked cans. To family, they echoed. Outside, the world kept turning. Other kids needed help. Other families were breaking. Other battles needed fighting. But in this house, tonight, there was peace. And love. And hope. The miracle wasn't that Lyric woke up. The miracle was that they all found each other. And chose to stay.